Blank check with Griffin and David. Blank check with Griffin and David. Don't know what to say or to expect. All you need to know is that the name of the show is Blank Check.
And now, pre-recorded from a closet at UCB Studios in New York City, it's the second annual Blank Check Awards.
Wow.
Here are your hosts, the two friends. And why don't you put a hashtag in front of that? David Sims and Griffin Newman.
Thank you.
Oh, hi, everybody.
That guy from the voiceovers.
Hi, thank you, voiceover guy.
What's his name? He died.
What's his name? Don LaFontaine.
There you go.
It's
you go.
me,
Thank you,
the
Don.
ghost of Don LaFontaine.
Yeah. Woo.
My unfinished business is done. I return now to the netherworld.
Oh, thank you, Don.
Bye, Don. He's going
Bye,
into
Don.
the netherworld.
Oh, bye. Don is being sucked down into
Weird
hell.
weird to know that the netherworld is where he belongs.
Yeah, I guess we finally got an answer. You know, when we started this podcast, we said we were going to answer...
What happens when we die?
Well, originally it was who killed Heyman Lee
I don't know who that is.
from Serial.
Oh, sure, right, yes.
And we answered that within one episode.
Yeah.
And since then, we've been trying to answer what happens after death.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, you have a list of unfinished business, and when you finish it, you get sucked down to the netherworld.
If you're Don LaFontaine, that's actually all we know.
That's true.
Might be different
We
if
might
you're
need a
someone else.
larger
Right.
case study, a
Don
larger
LaFontaine
sample
might have
size.
some dark shit in his past. We don't know.
He does, definitely. He did the voiceover for Daddy Day Camp.
Oh, all right. Welcome to the Blankies.
Cuba Gooding Jr., Daddy Day Camp.
He's in Daddy Day Camp?
Cuba Gooding? Yeah, he replaced Eddie Murphy.
God, that guy had a real long, valley. It's a deep, it was like a Grand Canyon.
So this is that tradition where the Blank Check Awards always start.
With a discussion of Cuba Gooding Jr.'s
The two hosts come out on stage
mid-2000s career.
an adoring crowd, and they talk about...
Cuba Gooding Jr.'s definitely announced the Oscar nominations, right? That feels... No?
Nope.
I mean, that feels like an easy choice.
Because they had women for so many of them.
Right,
Like, it was
right.
such a tradition to have, a previously Oscar-nominated woman.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I mean, he's just, it's that... Because it's always someone where you're it's like Mira Sorvino.
It's been Mira Sorvino twice.
Yeah, where you're
Wow.
just it's oh yeah, it's like someone who's an Oscar nominee, but can get up in the morning.
she
Like,
won.
Isn't
Yeah.
that busy?
Isn't that
Won.
Wait, she won, as did Cuba.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember Sigourney doing
I'm just
it.
saying
Yep.
it. Has, yeah.
I'm sorry, Sigourney doing
Who's never
it.
won.
Yep.
I know.
Rude.
I know.
It is rude.
Nominated twice in 1 year, has never won.
Kathy Bates has done it a couple of times.
Yeah.
MG Harden.
I mean, Salma.
Yeah.
Obviously, we were just talking about Ms. Hayek. But yeah, for always and forever, it was the president of the Academy was male.
Right.
So they would match
Right.
him up with
Yes.
a
sexy
female-
dame.
Yes, a sexy lady.
Yeah. Or sometimes Denzel Washington.
Right.
Yep.
And now we're in the Cheryl Boone Isaacs regime.
Yes.
So we,
I love Cheryl Boone Isaacs.
I do too.
by the
I do
way.
too.
But it's like, we get John Krasinski.
Yeah.
Hey man, he's swole.
It seemed for a while that she was
He's
just
thick.
going through the list of the famous Chris's too, which was kind of funny. She was
That's
like,
true.
Oh, we did Pine do it
Hemsworth and
once?
Pine.
What if
Yeah.
they did all the Hemsworths,
Oh.
including I think there's a fourth one out there.
I think so too.
Yeah, get him.
There's always
like-
going to be another Hemsworth.
Which one
like
do you
the
like?
Westworld one.
He's cute. He's little.
I know.
Have you seen him? He's little.
I think
Even
that's
watching
why I
the
like
show,
him.
you kind of could tell he was little.
Yeah,
right? Where
he carries
Shannon
himself
Woodward was
differently.
sort of close to his height. It's just
Yeah.
Chris
He's also got a
Hemsworth,
big
man.
ass head.
Chris Hemsworth's such an underrated actor.
I know.
Chris, yes.
Liam is
Liam is
big
not
old
an
nothing.
underrated.
No.
Yeah. Liam, I'm still I'm looking at the watch there. I'm like, come on,
Yeah,
Liam,
yeah.
show me what you got.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
has
yeah.
not shown me what he got.
No, not yet.
Right. Okay. So
And what's the other one called?
Liam, Chris, the other one, Pudgy,
Pudgy Hems.
Mudface Hemsworth.
Spanky.
Luke. I googled
Right.
other Hemsworth.
Other Hemsworth.
Yeah.
That's the first result.
Yeah.
call him,
His Wikipedia.
I call him Lil Hemsworth.
Lil Hemi.
Okay.
We have a guest.
So producer Ben, can you drop in the montage of us placing ourselves in the big movies of 2016?
Of
No.
course.
And then, of course, producer Ben is not here for this episode, so can you drop in audio of producer Ben saying that he will edit in?
Sure. I didn't do it, but whatever.
Here with us, a very special guest. You know him best from the first annual Blank Check Awards,
That's right.
and you'll know him going forward from the third annual Blank Check Awards.
Mark it.
Mark it, ladies and gentlemen, good friend of ours.
We're going to be talking about Split.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a new number one, actually.
Oh, already?
Split got unthroned.
Man.
Dethroned.
What's your new
So
number
fickle.
one?
Wick 2.
Oh.
That was not hard to predict.
I've now seen 5 movies from 2017, baby. So I got a Best Picture slate for 2017 if you want it. All right, sorry.
Joe Reid is here. Our good friend Joe Reid.
Happy to be the David Niven of the Blankies.
Always.
Yes.
From Decider.
Yes.
From our trivia team.
Yeah.
From the previous blank check word. So this is just, this is where we give ourselves the blank check. Once a year,
That's true.
we get the check, and
I think we get that check every week.
I don't think so. Usually, this show,
This show is tight.
it's tight, and we're doing what the man tells us to do.
That's right.
But then once a year, we get the blank check, and we go, "What if we picked the awards?"
Right. Which we all do every year anyway,
That's
and have
true.
always done
That's
before we had any kind of a podcast.
Or before we had any sort of friendship.
Before I even had a computer, I did this.
Yes.
Oh, man. As a lonely, Oscar-obsessed
Before
late
we
teenager,
had social acumen, we would pick the award.
Hey, I was always a very charming boy.
It's adorable that you think I have social acumen now, by the way, so thank you.
So, yeah, I mean, it's February. Oscar season is almost over, thank God.
Yes, it's true.
The Oscars are coming
And you
up.
say that when it's literally 3 more weeks of it left.
Oh,
And it's just
God.
like, oy.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Kimmel is going to host
Yeah,
a ceremony.
it'll be fine.
He did an excellent job at the Emmys. I'm usually very tepid on Kimmel, but I will say I thought he was a pretty good Emmy host.
Yeah, he was a good Emmy host.
What if one of the nominees catches on fire and then Kimmel comes out and he's like, "I did it. It was a prank."
Ugh.
You know what I'm saying? Like one of the presenters catches on fire and then it goes viral and then Kimmel comes out and goes,
Kimmel, man, he's famous for so many things.
Yeah.
Like that and mean tweets.
Yeah.
And
What's
that
the-
one time he was actually addicted to Jay Leno and it was great.
Yes.
Like the one good
Oh,
thing he ever did.
The one moment we all liked him. What's the over-under on how many Matt Damon jokes are going to be at this Oscars?
1,400.
Matt Damon is a producer
He's
of
gonna
Manchester by the Sea.
literally
Fuck.
fuck Matt Damon and there'll be a video of
Oh,
it. Like
yeah.
it'll be the peak, right? Like he's
Yeah.
actually going to do it now.
That'll be his version.
Affleck will do something.
His version of the Crystal video will be he'll pick every sex scene Matt Damon has had in a movie and superimpose himself into it.
Matt Damon had a lot of sex scenes. I don't feel like Matt Damon's a sex scene actor.
That's a really good point, actually. I
I'm
can't think
like
of
racking my brain.
I can't think of one, actually. That's
I mean,
very
there's the
interesting.
bath scene in Talented Mr. Ripley.
Right.
Right.
And of course, he watches Jude and Gwyneth have sex in Talented Mr. Ripley.
How's
What-
the peeping?
what
How's
human
the
would-
peeping?
Yeah,
The
exactly.
best line ever.
Yeah.
How's the peeping, Tommy? How's the peeping?
The thing with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon now, not to take
Uh-huh.
us on a tangent, but like, it feels like that friendship has become that kind of friendship where like Ben's not friends with Matt's other friends. Like
Yeah.
Matt has lots of other friends.
Sure.
He's friends with Krasinski and he's friends with Kimmel and like that whole. I feel like Matt's sort of
Matt's
like
a
branched
cool
out.
guy. He's got kids. He's got a nice
Yeah.
life. He like
I
has
don't
his
feel like-
causes.
Yeah,
you
right.
know.
I don't feel like Ben like meshes with Matt's other friends anymore. I think he's that guy.
Yeah. I mean, what's weird is that Matt was gonna direct Manchester by
Right.
the Sea.
Right.
And was he gonna star in it?
Okay, so can I give my theory on this?
Well, first let's say what because people are not gonna know the story. It was that he was gonna star in it, right? He
Yeah.
got too busy with Jason Bourne. I can't remember with what.
God.
And so he said, like, Kenny, you know what? You should direct this, and Casey Affleck should be the star. Right? That's
Krasinski and Damon have this weird friendship, right?
Mhm.
They wrote Promised Land together.
Terrible movie.
Damon
Yeah.
was
About
going to
fracking.
direct it,
Yes.
Yeah.
and then he dropped that. We've talked about this
Yeah, and
previously on the show.
Gussie VS
Right,
came in,
but that
did him a
Damon-
solid, made a
Damon
bad
keeps
movie.
on threatening to direct a movie and then dropping out, right?
Yeah.
And there was another movie he was supposed to direct that now Gavin O'Connor just took over.
Gavin O'Connor.
Man, the taker over Gavin O'Connor.
He really is. I mean, yeah, this is the problem. I mean, well, okay, go on. I'm not going to go
So
on a
he-
Gavin O'Connor rant.
He had this idea with Krasinski.
Yeah.
This is the story as they told it. And he went to Lonergan and said, hey, could we hire you to write
Yeah, do you want to write this? Right.
Lonergan wrote it. He thought it was like, a for hire job.
Lonergan wrote it and killed 2 more kids. You know that, right?
Oh, no.
Because they said, like, he loses his kid in a fire. When Lonergan wrote it, they were like, 3 kids? Are you sure, Kenny? And he was like, yeah, it's 3.
Gotta do it. It's a deal breaker.
Manchester spoilers.
Yeah. A lot of spoilers in this episode.
Yeah, that's true.
def-
Split's a sequel to Unbreakable.
Jesus.
1,
You
2,
asshole.
3. Unbreakable.
Oh, I didn't
man.
even see that one coming.
I didn't either.
That's why I
Mark
tried to do the
time.
countdown. I thought you
yeah,
did.
Yeah. Sorry,
Um,
we're usually good at that. We are duly appointed federal marshals.
We
All
are
right.
duly appointed federal
All right,
marshals.
go ahead. What's your theory?
Okay,
On,
so Damon's supposed to star in it, and he goes, I'm too busy. I don't have time
Too
to
busy
direct.
making a shitty Fifth Born movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Lonergan, can you direct? And then Lonergan's like, okay, fine, I'll do that. And then he's like, too busy to act in it. Can you get my buddy Casey to do it? Right?
Well, yeah, sure.
I don't think Damon ever intended to star or
You
direct
think it
that
was
movie.
like he was doing an intervention.
For
He,
Lonergan,
yes.
who was unhireable at that
A
point.
lot of people have said that he was like really trying to get Kenny back in the game.
I think so.
Kenny was lost in a fog after Margaret.
Right.
And so,
Making
right,
the
he,
best
he,
film of the last
he,
10 years.
He kind of parent trapped him. He was
Yes.
kind of
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm making a movie. Could you just like, write a few lines for me? And then Kenny
Right.
like gets into it and he's like, hey, Kenny, what do you want to do?
And I
direct
think
this?
fundamentally, Casey Affleck is right for that role in a way that Matt Damon is not.
100%.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
I got so worked up I swallowed my own spit.
I was going to say, though, like, the Lonergan comeback, I feel like, is a really underreported story of
Yes.
this Oscar season. And that, like, he really was, like you said, like, it was unemployable. Like, Margaret was such a high profile,
Yeah.
even as I thought it turned out fantastically. But, like, who after that whole process was going to be like, I want to be in the Kenneth Lonergan business?
That was the thing. Even after there was sort of the critical reevaluation of that movie and like the Save Margaret campaign and all of that, like that the production of the movie was such a nightmare that was like, who's going to give him money to do this?
Yeah.
Like he ended up in a 5-year lawsuit with the producers.
Yeah.
It's true.
And now he's all the way back. And
He's all the way.
there's-
But the thing
And the lawsuit's
There's
even
nothing
settled.
better
Yeah.
for the actual like business of movie or the art of movie making than having Kenneth Lonergan like back like
He's
that.
and
something bad.
making a movie that made good money.
Yep.
That was
Made it-
acquired
yeah.
by Amazon, but got a nice theatrical release, like
Yeah.
a proper
Yep.
cinematics, release.
Yep.
Yeah.
Still not available on Amazon Prime because they
They know
they
how-
do
they're
it
doing
right.
it right.
They
Exactly.
give it 6 months.
I
or
agree.
whatever.
Amazon's a great company. Everything they do is good.
I fucking do not like Amazon in every respect, but I do like how they handle their movies
Yes.
and their TV.
So let's say all of their media is really, really excellent. And also, I just love that every morning I check the news and still nothing's come out about Jeff Bezos, like, paying for the Dakota pipeline or anything.
Tiptoe past that graveyard, my friend.
You know what I'm saying? You know how every day there's like a new company where it's like, oh, fuck, okay, I'm not allowed to like that company anymore?
Yeah.
Every morning I wake up and I'm like, please, no.
This is
no
how I
bad
feel.
Amazon stuff.
This is how I feel about Isabelle Huppert throughout this entire Oscar season. It's just
You're
like,
waiting for her to pull a Charlotte Rampling.
oh, don't say anything stupid. 'cause you know,
Isabel.
You know she has some real bad opinions lurking
These
in
Frenchies.
that French brain of hers. Like, it's
Frenchies.
just like
You never know.
waiting to come out.
Marion Cotillard, she just can't wait for someone to put a microphone in front of her face
Marion
so she can
Cotillard
say
with
like
the
the
Illuminati
moon
did
lizards.
9/11.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
moon lizards are doing something.
Yep.
Mike was a fine. Thank you. That's a joke for 4 people.
All right. So
Crazy.
how are we gonna do this?
Okay.
Do you want to do supporting actress first,
I
like
think
classic
we
Oscar
do
style?
supporting.
Classic
yeah.
Oscar style.
So yeah, these are our picks. 5 nominees per category. We'll discuss our nominees, and then each one of us will pick the winner.
Okay.
That's the rough format of this loose show. That's mostly just us geeking out.
Exactly.
Geeks.
Yes.
I'll say this: I've been in almost every category. I've had like 4 out of 5 settled, and the 5th one I've been switching between a few positions.
Yep.
So I'm probably gonna make like a shotgun decision.
Yeah,
at
I
the
did
last-
that
Yeah, and
last
it's gonna
year.
be annoying.
I have at least one category where right now on my when I
gonna
made
make
my
you
lists,
wait.
I have a
Yeah.
list of 6 that I'm gonna have to like
Yeah.
cut one on live on air.
Oh, just FYI, by the way, you cannot nominate nocturnal animals
yeah, that's the
for
rule.
any
Oh,
categories.
That's the rule. Yeah,
Oh, gladly.
it is ineligible on the basis of sucking.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's I would love that if I was like in charge of the jury, and it's like jury is Academy juries reached a verdict, which is all films are eligible except for nocturnal animals
So as you guys,
because it was bad.
as you guys know, as friends of mine, longtime friends of mine, close friends of mine,
You like Michael S.
I like Michael S.
Sure.
Oh, sure.
No, I wasn't going to say that. I mean, look, I like Michael S. That wouldn't even be my favorite Michael S.
This is the
performance of
thing.
the year.
We've nominated him for 2 Oscars now for 2 of his worst performances. It's kind of bizarre. It's like Tucci times
It is
2.
true. I don't think Nocturnal is one of his worst performances.
I agree. I think he's good.
But
in it, it's not one
Revolutionary
of his
Road
best.
is.
Revolutionary Road definitely is.
Yeah.
He's you're right. He's fine in it, but it
Why?
wouldn't make my top
This is such a
15
why.
Michael Shannon performances probably,
I
right?
will say,
like
for Blankies' purposes, he is presenting our Best Supporting Actress award because he is Griffin's winner
That's true.
last
for
year.
99 Homes.
For
for the night
for the
before.
night
Sorry.
before.
I forgot.
He is presenting.
I can't remember who my winner was last year.
I'm Michael Shannon here. I'm presenting the nominees for
Was he wearing his Hawaiian shirt, jean shorts combo?
Best Supporting Actor. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, he's wearing
okay.
the what I was going to say is, as you guys know, my catchphrase, which has been trademarked for a long time, is everything is terrible, everyone's the worst.
Right.
Yeah, great catchphrase.
Saw Nocturnal
Really
Animals.
coming into its
right?
time right now.
I've been using it less because now it feels kind of hacked.
Yeah.
But saw Nocturnal Animals, and I was just like, so what's the? It's just everything's terrible. Everyone's the worst. Like the end of that movie, you're just like, so the whole point is just fuck everybody, fuck
people are bad.
everything.
Yeah.
Great. How creative.
The other point is Jake Gyllenhaal isn't right for every role.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That
And 3 comedy points. Okay, so
who was my supporting actor winner last year?
Mine was Nicholas Holt. I
remember that, and it was a good
that was
pick.
a cool pick.
It was a good pick.
Okay, so this is Nicholas Holt presenting with Michael Shannon.
With Michael Shannon.
And
I'm trying to.
Your
Who the
winner
fuck
was-
would my winner have been?
hello, I'm Nicholas Holt. Michael Shannon.
I'm literally like just sort of like running down the list.
Rylance?
Obviously.
You really loved Rylance.
Yeah, there we go.
That's
Yeah.
what it is. Jesus, David.
Michael Rylance. I'm Nicholas Holt.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, best supporting actress. We do each of us names their 5, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Boy, I'm going to have to make an under the gun decision. Okay, ready? Here we
All
go.
right, go ahead.
Michelle Williams for Manchester by the Sea.
Good performance.
Very good performance.
In the least surprising Griffin nomination of all time, Elle Fanning for 20th Century Women.
She is good.
In the second least surprising Griffin nomination of all time, Kate McKinnon for Ghostbusters.
Yeah, she's good too.
Yeah.
She's actually a tough miss for me.
Yeah.
Lily Gladstone for Certain Women.
It's a good one.
And oh boy, who's my 5th going to be? Janelle Monáe for Moonlight.
For Moonlight,
That's
not
a-
for Hidden Figures.
That's a really good pick. I
She's
saw
great in
Moonlight
Moonlight.
again last night, and her performance like leapt up the charts for me
It
after
is
seeing it a second time.
almost as good as Mahershala Ali's in terms of
Yes.
like impact, you know,
Yes.
versus minutes. You know, like
Yes.
you really feel her character, even though she's in it for probably 10 minutes.
She has
Like,
2 really signature scenes that jumped out at me,
Yep.
which was one of which was when Mahershala is giving the answering the kid's question when he says,
of
"What's
course,
a faggot?"
and she
And he says that's a thing that people call gay people, and then he goes, "I suppose you could." And
Right,
then
he's
she
like,
looks
"It's a
at him,
bad
and she's
thing."
like,
She's
and she
just-
just shakes his head like,
just
"Not
says
the time, not the time."
That's it. I mean, she gets the nomination for me almost exclusively
That
for that
headshake.
one. That's what pushes her over there. I saw the movie 3 times, right? And I saw
Yeah.
it the 3rd time last week. And the first 2 times, I kept on being like, God, this is such a good performance. She's clearly like such a fucking star to watch, right?
Yeah.
Like just hit the ground running.
Yeah.
I mean-
She's going to have an amazing film career.
Yeah.
I wish there was a little more screen time because I feel like she'd be one of my contenders. And watching it the 3rd time, I was like,
Why not?
what are these arbitrary rules I'm setting up
no,
that she
who
doesn't have
cares?
enough screen time?
You're the boss.
Right, I'm the boss,
Right.
and I just think like
Well,
how much she
okay.
makes out of
We can't do
Yeah.
this much conversation about it. Who is your miss?
who am I? I'd say I have 3 close misses. Okay, it was sort of between Naomi Harris and Janelle Monáe for who got my Moonlight slot.
Yeah, I'd definitely take Monet over Harris. I think Harris is fine. It's just
I think she's gotten a little bit more of a not that great in this great movie conversation than maybe I would have.
I think she's good in the movie. It's an Oscar-y performance.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I think she's
yes.
very good in the movie. I think it's the most traditionally Oscar-y performance and the
That
most
is true.
actor-y performance in a movie where
Yep.
everyone else is very naturalistic.
which
Yes.
is fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. But she's got the craziest arc to play.
Right,
Yes.
exactly.
Okay.
It's bigger, but that's authentic.
I'll say,
like I would say.
Laura Dern and Certain Women right outside my 5.
Yeah,
She's
I
great
think
in
she's
certain
very
ways.
underrated in that
Everyone is good in certain ways.
that's a fantastic.
movie. Tyree Kim for The Handmaiden.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very
She's
close
great.
for me.
My problem with the Handmaiden girls is that they're sort of fudgy category because each
Yeah.
of them kind of has one of the 3 acts to themselves.
Right.
So it's just tough, but they're all good.
I agree. I nominated neither of them, even though both of them just were on the outside
Yeah,
of
sure.
respective categories because of that problem. I think they both got fucked over by that. And I'd say the last one who just missed out for me was Sarah Gadon for why am I forgetting the title of the fucking movie?
Indignation.
Indignation. Thank you. I was
Oh,
going to say
sure.
Intolerance.
Yeah.
All right, Joe, do you want to go next? Or
Yeah,
should I?
yeah.
Okay.
So mine are alphabetical order.
Okay.
Tammy Blanchard in The Invitation.
Oh, Joe.
I know.
Coming right
I know.
out.
I'm coming out with the really obnoxiously
One-
esoteric one.
One, that's a real Joe Reid pick.
It is.
Yeah, I was,
2,
that sounds good.
she's terrific in
Yeah,
that.
I
but
love
that's
her in
such a
that.
joke.
And she's a terrific actress.
and she's terrific in Tallulah as well. If anybody saw that
She
movie,
is good in Tallulah, although not.
given a really impossible character.
Yeah, tough character, tough
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
I saw that movie, gave it a decent review. Sat with me strangely. It's a weird movie. Janny
Yeah.
is fantastic in it. Ellen Page is fantastic in it. Ellen Page is a fantastic actress.
Yeah,
Obviously Janny's good, but like when's she bad?
yeah.
But
It's an
Blanchard's
odd
good.
movie to consider, sort of in the long view.
Whatever.
Tammy Blanchard, Paulina Garcia in Little Men.
Good one.
Love that movie. Greta Gerwig in 20th Century Women. Lily Gladstone in Certain Women, and Michelle Williams in Manchester by the Sea.
Okay, so we overlap on 3?
On two.
Two.
Lily Gladstone and Michelle Williams.
We also, Joe, overlap on 3. Paulina Garcia in Little Men.
Yeah, she's so good.
Get yourself to that movie if you
Yep.
haven't seen it.
Yep.
She is fantastic. Lily Gladstone in Certain Women. We've all got her. I mean,
Yep.
that's the best supporting performance of the year for me.
She's so good.
Certainly female. She's. I guess we announce winners later.
Yeah.
Greta Gerwig in 20th Century Women.
Oh, so good.
She's phenomenal. Better than Elle Fanning. Sorry,
Picking the
buddy.
wrong performance?
No.
You are picking
But Elle's pretty good.
I think she's phenomenal.
I think everybody in that movie is good.
Yeah. Viola Davis in Fences. I'm sorry. It's a supporting performance.
We'll get to this.
It's a supporting performance.
It's-
Mary Alice won the
I know.
Tony
Yes.
for supporting performance because
Yes.
that's what it is. Viola won the lead because she's famous. That's why they put her in lead in the Tonys, which is what they always do. The famous people go in lead.
How famous was she when Fences was on Broadway?
She was an Oscar nominee. She'd been
was
in
an
The
Oscar
Help.
nominee.
She was a
She was
two-time
two-time Oscar nominee.
Was it after The Help? I thought it was before The Help.
It was after
Well,
the
it's
Help.
after Doubt.
It was definitely after Doubt.
I mean, I think it's the same. Isn't it 2011? I think it might be the same year as The Help.
I thought it was 2010, but I could be totally wrong. So
It's but she's I would say she's I mean, if
Sure.
you're an Oscar nominee,
And
in
certainly-
the eyes of the Tonys, you are
and
famous.
certainly in the realm of Broadway and August Wilson plays,
Yeah.
Viola Davis is incredibly
And it's-
famous and notable.
And it's also one of those things where when a play is revived, if it's that famous,
Yeah.
suddenly these roles become
Yeah.
so titanic. Like even it's a supporting.
I think it's a very borderline.
it is borderline. That's fine.
We can talk about it when we talk about lead, but like I think the fact that that last 20 minutes or so is her.
Yeah, obviously she
movie.
takes over the movie,
Yeah.
but in the same way that Del Toro takes over Sicario, it's a supporting performance.
Yeah.
Where it's like
That's fair.
suddenly the movie gets handed off. I mean, for most of the movie, that is the Denzel Washington show with a lot of other people around him. As great as Davis is for the whole movie, obviously.
Yeah, well, you've got.
But
her on the list, yeah.
that transference. Anyway, my 5th nomination is Condi Alexander in Patriots Day.
I have not seen Patriots Day. That's
my David pick.
A wild pick by David. Sims.
Kaboom!
Bam!
Condi Alexander,
Uh-huh.
the great Condi Alexander,
Love her.
Yeah.
Love her.
comes into Patriots Day, which is a movie that is not that great in my opinion and all over the place, but has some, has a little mojo.
Weirdly close to being great.
It's like you're right, but I mean, but the thing is, here's the thing: it's not good at all. Like, or if you know what I mean, it's bad, but you're right. Like, if you just tip like 6 or 7 things, just like 5% over, maybe it'd be great.
I don't know if there's a movie I've seen that's closer to greatness that doesn't achieve.
Really,
in
odd
that year,
Yeah.
2016, it wins my award for this is weirdly close to greatness for a movie that isn't.
Yeah.
Condi Alexander comes in. Her character doesn't have a name. She's just called Interrogator.
Yeah.
She comes in.
I'm already in. I'm already interested.
She's in hijab. She's in Muslim garb, and she's interrogating the wife of Sarnev, played by Supergirl, Melissa Benoist.
Yeah.
And it's this,
Which is not whitewashing. She is a white suburban
Yes.
woman who converted.
It would be funny if Peter Berg was like, too many. Like, let's get a white person playing one of these.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But the movie doesn't explain that, so the whole time you're watching it, and you're like, is this wrong?
Right. You're waiting to
I
go to
knew
Wikipedia
that.
at the end of the
I mean,
movie.
it's because it was so recent. Because
Right.
Patriots Day is covering events that happened 4 years ago.
Yeah. By the way, do you know that Mark Wahlberg and Peter Berg have a movie coming out about this year's Blank Check Awards?
They do. It's going to
This
be
Friday?
great. Yes.
Wait, is that
Condi Alexander is going to play
That
the
doesn't give me
interrogator.
a whole lot of confidence for how the rest of this Blankies is going to go.
Hey, who knows?
All right, so Condi comes in, interrogates her,
Yeah.
and it's this scene where it's like this powder keg scene where she is basically like, "You're fucked. Like you are in so much trouble. We know you knew about this. We know you're in cahoots with your husband and his brother, and and she's kind of." It's incredible. She's playing the good cop and the bad cop in the same body.
Oh, man.
Because she's literally switching between
Wait, is it a split sequel?
It is a split sequel.
Oh,
No,
my
It's an
God.
Unbreakable prequel sequel. No, she'll switch between kind of speaking to her in Arabic,
God.
and you know what I'm talking about. You've seen the
Yes,
movie,
yes.
and sort of trying to reach her as a Muslim woman, Muslim woman, and then kind of then she's like, I want an attorney, and she's like, you ain't getting shit, like being a bad cop, and then exits the scene, pulls off the hijab, and is like, sorry guys, I got nothing. Like it is an
And they say,
incredible.
who do you work for? And she goes, I can't tell you
I
that.
can't tell
Oh,
you.
my
Goodbye.
God.
And it's like an incredible, it's probably a 7 or 8 minute scene.
Yeah.
It's one scene performance. I couldn't believe it when I was suddenly electrified by that scene.
Okay, can I tell you the one thing about this pick that makes me angry?
What?
I forgot to pick them. Because
Fuck you.
I sat there watching the movie and went, this is no question one of my 5 nominees, and completely forgot about it until now.
Nice.
I don't know who I'd replace her with, but yeah. I mean, yes, I fucking hats off to you. Incredible performance. Great pick.
All right. I feel confident. But my winner is definitely Lily Gladstone. We should give her a couple minutes of praise, man.
She's so
who's your
good in
winner?
that movie. So I
think she's the only one we all nominated.
she's the only one we all nominated.
Michelle Williams.
No, I didn't nominate
you didn't
her.
nominate Michelle
Who I think she's great.
Yeah.
Eh.
It's a good category. No, I think
it's a hot category.
Lily Gladstone comes like she's in the third part of that movie,
Right.
and she comes out of nowhere.
And you're thinking,
she's the
like-
only one of those actresses that you've never seen in anything,
Right, because you're going in the third part and you're like, case stew. Like,
Yeah,
I'm excited
exactly.
for some Kristen Stewart.
Exactly.
Kristen Stewart's good in that,
But
but
she's
it's
not the focus.
her. Right,
Yeah.
exactly. You realize quickly, oh, this isn't actually about her.
And she's playing this woman, and she doesn't play her as a sad woman, even though there's sadness so
yes,
much
but
about
not
her
a sad,
character.
Right. More of a person who's kind of like somewhat resigned to
Right.
how her life works, but
Right.
is at least tempted by like, oh, could I like
And it's so
change
recognizable
this?
in her, that thing where you're used to the sort of routines of your life, and then something walks into your life that like gives you this spark of like, oh, something could be like different. And she just really comes alive. And it's really, really good.
She's a ranch hand. She's a Native American. The movie's set in Montana, right? It's set in the
Yes.
in like the Northwest.
Yeah.
Lily Gladstone's a Native American actress. I'd never heard of her before.
Nope.
I don't know.
Nope.
Has she
Neither
been
did I.
in things before? And
A couple, but
she's
not really.
she's
Yeah.
attending these like night school classes being taught by Kristen Stewart's character, and they have this like. It's not even a flirtation, really, but it's
No.
some kind of a like connection.
Yes.
Essentially, they
Yeah.
start to like get dinner together or whatever.
Because
Like,
they're the only two people in that room who are incredibly awful. Kristen
Right,
Stewart's
right.
teaching these teachers who all they want to know is like, what is like the legal requirement for me to like discipline my students?
Right.
Essentially, it's all like, it's such a
She-
good movie.
you know,
people
she's
really
been
need
in
to
a
see that
couple
movie.
things, Lily
Yeah.
Gladstone, and she,
Yeah.
I wish her well in the future. She won a lot of critics awards, which
Yeah.
was great, and
Yeah.
like I'm so happy for her.
I do think, though, it's important to say that this is kind of an Astaire and Rogers performance.
Yeah,
Like, her performance works because of how good Kristen Stewart is as well. How
Sure.
good the two of them are together.
Yeah.
Like, even though Lily Gladstone's like the showy...
You're not wrong.
yeah,
Right.
You're
But
not
this
wrong.
is why we should give Lily Gladstone awards so that she can publicly thank Kristen Stewart for
Yes.
being the Fred. to
Kristen
her
Stewart was
Jane.
my winner last year in supporting actress. So,
Oh right,
yeah.
for Clouds
Right,
of Seals
yeah.
Maria.
All right, so
Yeah.
my winner is Lily. Who's your winner, Joe?
With the caveat that I would love to give it to Tammy Blanchard just so I could evangelize about The Invitation more, because I
movie.
think it's such a good movie that people didn't really see this year. It's on Netflix. It's my favorite horror movie of the year.
Damn right.
It's so
Probably
tense.
not mine, but it might be my number 2.
Karen Kusama directed it. Oh,
Amber
Griffin,
Alert.
turn
I'm
off
sorry.
that
I'm
fucking
sorry.
phone.
I'm sorry. I didn't know there was an Amber Alert going on.
Karen Kusama directed the movie. It's really good. Go out and see it. No, my winner is Greta Gerwig for 20th Century.
Oh.
So good. She's so good.
Wrong
Who-
performance.
No.
You got a beef
Oh,
with this
God.
performance?
Look, I think Greta Gerwig is incredibly well cast in that movie.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know where this is going.
I think it plays to all of her strengths.
Well, first of all, I think it plays to her strengths, but I don't necessarily feel like in a way that would make me discount the performance. I also think we get stuff from her in that performance that I don't think I've seen from her. in other
Agreed.
things. I think there's there are all the scenes with her talking to Annette Bening about motherhood, and the one scene where it's
Great movie, by the way. We can all agree.
20th Century Women
I
is-
saw it twice.
it's phenomenal.
I think we're going to talk about it more as the episode goes on.
yeah.
Oh, wow. Preview of
I think we're
going to talk about it
more.
But there's also the scene where Annette is saying like, "This is I don't get to see my son out in the world, and you do." And like
Right.
those two scenes with them together are so fantastic. And like keeping up with Annette Bening is an accomplishment.
It's a tough one,
in and of itself.
especially
Yeah.
maybe Annette Bening's best performance. Like
I
Yeah.
think I
a
might
goddamn
say that.
dynamite Annette
Yep.
Bening performance
Agreed.
that like simmers in your body for
Yeah.
weeks.
I just think Elle Fanning. I mean, look, I think
Elle Fanning is fine in 20th Century Women. She is good at playing one vibe, which is the rebellious girl who secretly is like not as rebellious as she
Disagree
thinks she
with
is.
that.
I think in
Disagree
this
with
movie, though, she's much more of a real girl that you could have
Agreed.
known than she is in her other role. Certainly like Neon Demon and stuff.
Well, Neon Demon is a
Yeah.
fairly broad movie. There's one good performance in Neon Demon, and
Fairly
it's that cougar. that breaks in her hotel room.
Yeah.
great cougar. No,
I was gonna
Keanu's
say,
good. Keanu's good.
No, see, I think at 20th century women, what Elle Fanning is actually playing is someone who is too smart for her age.
Sure.
And has to try to dumb herself down.
Right.
You know?
Which
like,
is certainly, especially in the 70s or whatever,
Right.
like, that's the kind of thing that might happen to
right,
a teenage girl who's rebelling. Yes.
Right. It is fighting against her ability to actually over-intellectualize everything by trying to engage in the baser instincts of what a quote-unquote normal teenage girl should be doing. You know?
Yeah.
All right.
I think the scene where she explains why she sleeps with boys is like
Great scene.
a fucking masterwork.
She's
Yeah.
She's
I think
great
the
in the
dinner
movie.
table scene's incredible.
It's so good. But everyone's good in that scene.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
scene is 20th century women's like,
Yeah.
real like cooking
And
with gas
Gerwig's
scene.
so
Yeah.
great in that scene.
She
like
is.
that's I feel like that's almost a point in my favor.
Well, I think Fanning is
I'm
playing.
menstruating. Say it with
Say
me.
it.
I think Fanning's playing someone who wants to be Gerwig
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
and doesn't know who she's going to
And
be.
is sort of hostile to her because of that, which I
Yes.
also like the dynamic between
Look,
those two.
one of the things about 20th century women that's amazing is that everyone in that character in that movie is a type.
Yeah.
And then obviously the performances are not like a type.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Who's your winner?
My winner is, with a bullet, Kate McKinnon in Ghostbusters.
All right.
She's great. I need to see Ghostbusters again.
Yeah, I think I'd probably
I saw it once. I had a great time
Me too.
and I loved Kate McKinnon, but I will admit I don't remember a goddamn thing about it.
I remember her
it's-
dancing to DeBarge. I remember
Sure.
yeah.
I've seen it three
she's
times.
Great. You've seen it 3 times?
I've seen it 3 times.
That's a lot of times.
I like Ghostbusters a lot, right? Like I like Ghostbusters as
See,
a,
would you-
a
wait.
fucking world.
Would you say the busting makes you feel
Oh God.
good?
No, I wouldn't. I would say the busting makes me feel great. That would be my pull quote on the post. This busting makes me feel great.
Boy, oh boy.
I have problems with the recent Ghostbusters movie. They're the same problems that everyone I feel has. Why are they women?
Sure.
It's really, it actually sticks in my craw. I know, no,
when I make
we
that
don't-
joke.
No. When they're
oh,
women.
yes. No. I don't like. I don't like the amount of fucking fan servicey callbacks to the original. I feel like in the final cut,
Agreed.
they made a choice to focus on jokes rather than story, and there are like character beats that don't fucking work in the movie because they clearly cut out plot lines.
This is why I need to see it again because
Right.
I don't like. That's the shit I don't really remember.
There's shit in the movie that irks me. It's overwhelmed by how much I think the movie does right.
Yep.
And I just like fucking Ghostbusters. I like the world
I
of
also
Ghostbusters.
think
I
the
like
movie
living.
looks good. I like
I
the look
agree.
of the movie. I like the look of the ghosts. I like this sort of
yeah.
quasi cartoony.
I like all that. I like
Yeah.
that it sort of feels more like an
like it.
adaptation of the Ghostbusters cartoon show.
Yes. That's actually a good point with the neon greens and such.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
And even the aesthetics and all that. I like all that, right?
Right.
But I think for me, the one element that pushes the movie over the top is McKinnon, who's
terrific.
Is doing something that I think,
Is not in the original movies. Like
Absolutely
it's
not.
where you can't go
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
she's Egon. Well, not
Well,
really.
yeah.
There's no
yeah.
analog. And the thing I think what she's doing is closest to is not in terms of that specific performance, but how Bill Murray was functioning in the 80s, where he was the funniest guy in the movie, but it felt like he was kind of taking one step outside of the movie.
Yeah.
Like Bugs Bunny and winking at the audience. And
Oh,
being like,
yeah.
I'm in a movie. How much shit can I fuck up?
Right. There was always a sense of her in that movie just being like, can you fucking believe what's going on here?
Right,
Like,
right, which I love.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to do that and not destroy the reality of the film.
Right.
To be that funny
yeah.
and that self-aware and not have it be at the expense of everything else that's
Yeah.
happening. And I just think
another thing about Kate McKinnon.
What?
She was on a mod team,
she was on a mod team. That's really important.
but
to mention.
never on a Lloyd team, right?
Never on a Lloyd team.
Yeah, good.
She wasn't really an improviser. But yeah, I think Kate McKinnon's like one of the fucking best
She's a star.
comedic actresses ever.
Okay, well, chill out. But
and-
she is a star.
Yeah,
And certainly this is like her big like ascension year. She won the Emmy, all
Yeah.
the election like stuff on SNL.
Yeah.
it's
Like,
insane to watch. And she's also incredibly good in the otherwise completely forgettable Office Christmas Party.
oh,
I've
I
not
haven't
seen.
seen it.
She's weirdly good in
I
that.
saw
Yeah.
like 120 movies from last year, but that was
Yeah.
not one of
Yeah.
them.
I almost saw that movie like 4 different times.
Mm.
Where I was going to see a movie. I'm like, I just want to see something, and it was like right there, and
Yeah.
then I picked something.
Not really worth seeing other than her performance. Sure, the award is somewhat of a coronation. Like, here you
Yeah.
go, have a great 2016.
Sure.
You know, you had one, or whatever. I can't speak this episode.
All right, we're gonna move on.
I give my word to Kate McKinnon for
Okay, supporting actor.
Okay.
I'll go first. Right? Why don't we?
Yeah, why don't you
sure.
go
So Kristen Stewart is presenting this.
Yes.
Hey, I love how nobody cared that she said fuck, by the way.
No.
I was right.
Yeah.
I was right.
It was-
I knew there would be no reaction.
Shouldn't care.
Yeah.
No, there were too many other good things to talk about.
Yeah.
Jenny Slate was the last. That's the
Yeah.
last time anyone's going to care.
Yeah.
And it was more because we felt bad for Jenny Slate. Because
Sure.
it was
Well,
like,
at that
like your
moment-
first day at work, you know,
Well,
that
and
kind
it was,
of thing.
you could totally see where that moment went south. And it was
Right.
just sort of like, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
this is not the Jenny Slate Oscars.
My Best Supporting Actor nominees. Mahershala Ali for Moonlight.
Very good.
Billy Crudup for 20th Century Women.
Oh, I love that pick.
Rafe Fiennes for A Bigger Splash.
Love
And I know
that
Griffin
pick.
and I are going to fight about that.
Yep.
I think. Shia LaBeouf in American Honey.
Love that pick.
And Daniel Radcliffe in Swiss Army Man. Those are my picks.
David, these are really good picks.
Thank you. Tough category.
Very tough category.
A lot of good people on the cutting
Very
room
tough.
floor
Two
who
of
we
yours-
should shout out.
Two of yours are in my runners-up. Ray
Yeah.
Fiennes and Mahershala Ali are both in my runners-up.
Wow.
Interesting.
Only
Okay.
got jacked.
Reading Rango. What are your
Boy.
Reading range. Tom Bennett in Love and Friendship,
Who's fantastic.
who's so funny. Alden Ehrenreich in Hail Caesar.
Who's
It's
fantastic.
one of my favorite performances in like years.
He's so good.
He's so good. Lucas Hedges in Manchester by the Sea, Oscar
great.
nominee.
Yep.
Andre Holland in Moonlight.
So hot.
So hot. So
I just saw
fucking hot.
Jitney and I had those
Oh,
front row
yeah.
seats, like
Oh,
literally
nice.
like
The
Yeah.
so I
splash
was
zone?
yeah.
Yeah.
And boy,
Splash
you know,
zone.
August Wilson plays. There's a lot of spitting.
Yeah.
He's so hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a
Anyway.
hot guy.
And he's very good in it.
And Daniel Radcliffe in Swiss Army Man.
Fucking
Wow.
great performance.
So good.
Okay, this is the one. This is the category that pains me the most.
Yeah.
And you know
It's
what?
a-
I would say most years this is the category that pains me the most.
See,
Yeah.
and that's
Usually I struggle
never
between
the
this
case
and
for me.
actress. Like
Yeah.
usually those are the ones where I'm like, there's like 10 I like, you
Yeah.
know.
Actress. Oh, I'm sorry. Actress is the one. that pains
Actress
me the
this
most.
year
Actress
is
is
a
insane.
nightmare.
Actress is a
Insane.
nightmare this year.
Yeah.
There are two guys who are like my 6 and 7 this year. It really pains me.
we
to leave
we
them
can
off.
shout out
Yes.
some runners.
Yeah.
Okay, my nominees are Alden Ehrenreich for Hail Caesar,
He's great.
I'm almost mad that he's not in mine, but whatever. I mean,
Mahershala Ali for Moonlight,
fantastic.
and then 3 that have not been mentioned.
Let's hear it.
Michael Barbieri for Little Men,
So
good.
good.
Tracy Letts for Indignation.
Holy shit, I was just going to mention him in my runners-up. He's so fucking good.
Tracy Letts is boss bitch.
Yeah.
And Ashton Sanders for Moonlight.
All right, so here's where my sort
Who's
of
good?
extreme dorkiness comes
Sure,
in.
let's be
when
dorky.
I made my whole list, I have a category for breakthrough actor and breakthrough actress.
Sure.
So both Michael Barbieri and Ashton Sanders.
Ashton
are-
Sanders,
Fair.
who is the middle,
He's
Chiron.
the middle
teenage
Chiron.
Yeah.
He is, just Chiron, I believe.
Yes.
That's what that's
Yes.
that section is
That
called.
section is called, yeah.
Who's great. Everyone in Moonlight is great. It is very annoying that they are all supporting actors essentially
Yes.
as well. You know, it's very hard to find a way to highlight all of them without like giving them
Yeah.
some special award.
I mean,
right?
that's the kind of movie that ensemble awards exist for, which is
Absolutely.
why SAG gave their ensemble to Hidden Figures.
yeah,
Yeah.
which had so everyone in was fine.
Yeah.
Fine to good.
That's a good
Yes.
movie with really good actors.
Everyone
Like,
is fine to good.
if you make an ensemble category, it's to give a movie like
Yeah,
Moonlight.
But Jim Parsons really needed
Oh.
that 8th SAG. How many fucking SAGs do you think that guy has?
He's the saggiest actor alive.
Oh my god! Except for everyone on Downton Abbey who have
That is
like,
true.
a billion
It is
SAG
and
awards.
The SAG's nominated Downton Abbey, and I was like, I swear to God, isn't Downton Abbey been off the air for
I,
like 3
honestly,
years at
I
this point?
honestly almost thought they would win again for this last year because, like,
Swear to God.
oh my lord!
Downton Abbey is the large marge of the SAG Awards. Downton Abbey.
All right.
Downton
So-
Abbey hasn't aired since 2014.
Mahershala Ali, who I hope wins the Oscar.
I do too.
It's just one of those performances where, right, it's kind of like Monet, but even bigger, where it's like when he's not on screen, you miss him.
Yeah.
Like you feel the loss of him as much as you feel him on screen.
Which
He's-
works to the movie's advantage.
of course,
Yeah.
like there's so much humanity in like just him looking at someone, like, you know,
Yes.
he communicates like everything you need to know, which is crucial because there is not much time in this movie to communicate shit because
Yeah.
every little mini movie in it
Yeah.
is a whole story.
The look
right?
on his face when Little asks him, "You deal drugs?"
Oh, it's terrible. But even earlier,
is so good.
when he is kind of trying to be tough on Little and takes his fries away or whatever,
Yeah.
or mac and cheese, I can't remember. He's eating
It's
something.
his fries. Yeah. And
It's
Little
just-
sort of looks right down.
And he just looks right down and he realizes, like, you just see Mahershala Ali with no, like, dialogue, just gets, like, I can't do this with this kid. It's
Yeah,
not going to work.
Right.
A different thing's going to work with this kid.
Right. Yeah.
Well, and also, like, okay,
I'm getting goosebumps.
No, it's amazing.
drug dealer with a heart of gold who takes, like a latchkey gay kid under his wing. It sounds like a fucking awful, awful TV movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure. Right.
And specifically, I mean, when you look at that character, I think the power of Moonlight comes in the fact that every single character in the film could be a stock cliched character in a shittier film.
Yeah.
And this movie treats all of them like real human beings.
Yeah.
With real, sensitive, thoughtful performances.
Yep.
And he's like the most emblematic of that. And it is this performance where it has these big gestures, that feel like in a shittier movie would be these big triumphant, like heartwarming moments.
Yeah.
But it is such a behavioral performance.
Yeah.
He doesn't overplay anything.
Well, this is the thing is he shifts from being a drug dealer to a mentor in ways that don't feel big. Like he doesn't have to feel like he has to play either side of that equation big enough for the audience to get it. Like he's very like within himself.
And my brother James,
so
said, my favorite thing anyone said about this performance, he said, that guy's face is amazing. It's like he's got 6 faces.
Well said.
And you talk about the
Jamesy.
shifts. It is that thing where, like, yes, he's got this amazing face, and he's got a lot of face.
Yeah.
But it also is the shifts from when he goes from high status to low status to insecure to comfortable to comforting.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Okay, so some other shared nominees, Alden Ehrenreich.
Yes.
You guys both had.
Yeah.
I basically, I'd have him too. You
Yeah.
know, like, right? I mean,
that was sort of like with me and Mahershala. Like
It's
he was
a
my runner-up,
star
but like, come on.
performance.
Yeah. Oh my god. So like, I'm still very conflicted about whether I feel good about him getting Han Solo because I don't want him to have to shoulder
Look,
that
this is
burden for the rest of his career.
the burden of the young actor right now. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, great. Oh, you were good in one movie. Can you carry a franchise?
Can you step into
yeah,
the
yeah.
roles of one of the most iconic fictional characters
Right.
in all of movies?
You get cast as Arthur in The Tick. Will everyone ever be able to listen to your podcast objectively?
Exactly
again?
what I'm talking
Yeah.
about, Griffin. Exactly.
Exact same thing. I don't know how I feel about it for him. I feel good for the Han Solo movie.
Yes.
Like, I think it's a big boon to that movie.
But
Yes.
how about his performance in Hail Caesar?
Unbelievable.
I was just rewatching Hail Caesar,
It's-
which is a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic movie. It's weirdly for a Coen Brothers movie, and the Coens tend to be people who everything they do is considered for things like awards and top 10 lists and whatever. Somehow this was the underrated one.
Partly because I think it came out in February.
I think that's part
and
of
so
it.
it got tagged with minor Coens. I
Yeah.
think some people didn't know what to do with it, where they're like, am I watching a broad comedy here?
It's
Yeah.
a tweener.
But like
It
his
is
stuff
a bit of a
is
tweener.
so good, both in it's screamingly funny. Like from
So
minute
funny.
one when he rides up on that horse, just the way he has his posture is funny.
Yep.
Like his
Yep.
the way he delivers lines is funny. That scene with Ray Fiennes is goddamn miracle.
I mean,
so
it's hard to
funny.
overrate that one. But God, that scene with what's the who's the actress who plays
Veronica
his
Soria.
where they just start singing at the
Yes.
goddamn dinner
Yep.
table
Yep.
with no explanation
Yep.
and like it's not addressed.
That whole date is so good, and even
It's
him
so
before
fucking
that date,
charming. You
where
can't
he's like-
believe it.
Where he's like idly lassoing,
Ugh.
waiting for her, is so charming.
He's so fucking
I
funny.
also-
But also that scene where he's like, where Josh Brolin lays it out for him, like Eddie Mannix.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
like, he's like,
Commies.
we're gonna deal with this. Yeah,
Commies, I thought so. Like,
he's so funny.
yeah, and it gives me a great excuse to bring up how much I loved him in Beautiful Creatures, which I will ride for till the day I die. That movie was underrated.
It's often an unfair setup, but it's so difficult in a movie that's about how incredible you are.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm phrasing
true,
this poorly.
true, no,
but a
yeah.
movie where everyone's like, this is the next great star.
Yeah.
To introduce someone and have them fulfill the way all the other characters speak of them.
Yeah.
And especially because what they speak of so highly is just an ineffable quality.
Yeah.
It's not like a real discernible thing.
Right.
It's star power. And there is an excitement that boosts this performance to watching a Star is Born narrative containing a Star is Born performance.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That dual
Well, remember
sort of
when that
thing.
trailer came out and it was like everybody was listed alphabetically and
Yeah.
he was like second because
Right.
his name's Ehrenreich, and people were just like, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
Me and
Like,
Esther, former guest, had just had a conversation where it's like, what's up with that guy from Beautiful Creatures? Like, you know,
Yeah.
everyone said he was going to break out, and she was like, well, he's in Hail Caesar, and rules don't apply this year. Like, maybe this is the year.
we had that
And then
conversation
that trailer
at
dropped.
your birthday party.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I remember that vividly. I will speak to some personal bias here.
Yeah.
Which is I used to be fairly friendly with him.
Mhm.
We used to take acting classes together.
Uh-huh.
And I remember him being the guy where I'd be like, Jesus Christ, if this guy can't make it, I got no fucking chance. You know, it was one of those things where like I'd see him constantly get really close to big things.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is so obvious. This guy so obviously
He's
has
such a star.
it.
Yeah.
And it's not happening.
Yeah.
So it was frustrating for years and years to see him,
Sure.
you know, be good in things that didn't get seen. Or,
All those Coppola movies.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was like something especially satisfying sitting there in the theater and being like, they totally figured out exactly how to use him.
I hate to be the guy who we do have
Tracy Letts kind of it's most supporting actor. I mean, he's got this 20-minute scene.
I will also
that's
say
like a two-hander.
Tracy Letts in Christine is also phenomenally good.
Still haven't seen Christine.
He's
I've
great.
heard.
He
Same.
plays.
I haven't seen
He
it
plays
either.
her boss.
I don't like to watch movies about people who kill themselves.
Listen,
unless
I
have to.
don't blame you.
It's
really
one thing
good,
if a
and
movie if it's a movie where someone kills himself, but this is a movie about a suicide.
That's
Yeah, carry on.
That's
carry
why
on.
I've
Yeah, yeah.
avoided Alvin and the Chipmunks shipwreck.
Yeah, well,
Poor Dave Seville. Yeah, he's phenomenal in Christine, though. Also, I will say.
But yeah, Indignation is this 20-minute confrontation
Yeah,
scene.
right. The big scene.
Right. That's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just incredible, and it's like, well, that's what a real actor can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is a real actor.
Ashton Sanders, for me, it's like all three Chirones are incredible in that movie. I think he's actually got the most difficult scenes to carry, and he's got to be the bridge between the two that connects the first and
tough-
third
The way that
performances.
kid
Tough
just
performance.
stands in
He's-
that movie
Yes.
with the weight of the world on his shoulders,
Yeah.
it breaks your heart. It
But-
really does.
Everyone. Well, we already talked about that.
I agree.
Everyone's good.
And then Michael Barbieri, it's just like
Well,
it's
Well, he's
acting-
also got one scene
that
that is
acting
so
class scene,
phenomenal.
yeah.
right, it's phenomenal. And
But I
it's,
mean, there's lots of good scenes.
it's
yeah.
a fun performance.
Yes,
Like
it
it's
is.
fun to watch this kid who is so
He's a
genuine,
little wise
authentic,
ass.
and
Yep,
sane.
yep.
But then yeah, the scene where you're watching the movie and you go like, maybe they just found this kid and this kid's just comfortable being himself. You start to underrate him as an actor, and then the acting class scene where he has to act
Yeah.
shows that like even if it's beginner's luck, he's got the thing.
Yeah.
I didn't talk about Perlina Garcia and Little Men at all, but she's
That's
also
an amazing
incredible.
performance,
But yeah, I don't, yeah,
And go
as
back,
as his mother.
See Little Men, and then go back and see Paulina Garcia and Gloria in that Chilean movie Gloria that
I
she
did
made a
not
few years
see.
ago, which was, I think she won the Berlin Film Festival
Sure.
award for Best Actress in that. That movie is one of the best endings to a movie I've ever seen in my life.
right.
It's such a joyous ending. It's so good.
Any other nominees you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, man, fucking tons of nominees. You kidding me? Go ahead, Joe.
John Goodman in 10 Cloverfield Lane. Almost
Oh,
made my
so
list.
good, so good. But wait, we haven't even talked about your actual nominees.
Oh, didn't I? Oh, we
No,
didn't talk
I don't
about
know.
my
I mean,
actual
are
nominees.
there any that you?
We talked about Aaron Reich. We talked about. Oh, let's talk about Daniel Radcliffe because he's on both of ours. That kid.
I love Daniel Radcliffe now,
Yeah.
which I honestly, if you told like me watching the early Harry Potter movies, like you're gonna grow up and love this actor.
What an
I
interesting
would
career
not have
he's
bought
got
it.
right now. Like
It is. He's had an interesting career,
he's
and I
so
appreciate that he.
funny in that role.
It's the funniest like physical performance since Vincent
Yeah.
D'Onofrio in Men in Black.
That's a good. That's
The
a
greatest,
Good one.
the greatest, the last great like sort of animated dead
Yeah.
body performance.
Yeah.
It's that movie.
Terry Kaiser in Weekend at Bernie's. How dare
Well,
you?
that's previous
Okay,
to
fine.
Vincent.
Okay, fine.
I don't honestly I don't like that movie very much.
I don't either.
When I saw it I had a good
I like
time.
it. I liked it a lot better than I expected to. I will. Tell you.
Yeah, and I thought that it was, it was a cool calling card movie. I liked how it looked, blah 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 blah
Yeah,
blah.
yeah.
The end sat very badly with me, and I
Yes.
just
Yeah.
I have not
It's a
thought
rough
of
ending.
it very well.
It's a real rough ending.
And it kind of is sort of stuck in like a sort of Sundance movie story trope from like I feel like from like a decade ago. Come on, like enough with the jerk off guys who like don't know how to talk to a girl. Like
Right.
Like do we need more of this?
Right.
But Radcliffe as like basically like the spirit of the side of your brain that's just like, what's wrong with getting a boner?
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
like
Yeah.
being interested in something like is perfect. He's perfect.
It's
Love
so
him.
it's so much fun. It's such a you said it all really. Also, so the one Moonlight actor we haven't really talked about this on my list is Andre Holland, and
But Trevante Rhodes too. Let's see.
Well,
all of them, man.
It's
But
every-
Andre Holland's so
we'll
good.
talk about Trevante Rhodes later maybe.
Oh,
Andre
I'm
Holland
excited.
gets such an interesting task to play in that movie because the last thing you saw of that character,
Kevin's kind of a dick.
I was really mad at Kevin at the end of
Come
that
on,
second
Kevin.
segment, and like. But
I mean, I
Andre
get it,
Holland
Kevin,
wins
but-
you over so quickly, and like you said, it's the sexiest performance. He makes this plate of black beans and rice. Like,
Give me those beans.
honestly, give me everything. Like the scene of him, I wrote about at
He
the end of the
makes
year.
the
I
tea.
wrote about what a great year it was for smoking in movies, and like that scene of him leaning up against the wall and just sort of blowing smoke into the camera.
To have
That
a
is
scene,
star power too. It's like speaking about the Alden Ehrenreich thing. Like,
Griff and
holy
I were
shit.
talking about it. To have a scene where you see it, you're like, that's a GIF.
Yeah.
And nonetheless,
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
I love this, and I'm right in this movie.
Well,
you know?
my argument was that movie is almost entirely composed of GIFs. Like, every single moment of that film is so cinematic and self-contained. The fact that it works as a greater whole is like a miracle.
Yeah.
And speaking of my favorite GIF in the movie, what I think is Andre Holland's sexiest moment in the film is the neck rub.
Oh.
When he puts the song in the jukebox and he turns around, he very slowly rubs his own neck.
He's a fantastic.
I watching it last
actor.
night. I think I gasped at that. I was just like, oh.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
That dude rules. Yeah.
Anyone else you got, Joe?
Lucas Hedges.
He's
who
great.
We've talked about a lot. He's an Oscar
The
nominee. so
meltdown
he's-
scene is, terrific.
Yeah.
The
I think that's a
panic
kid,
attack scene.
and I think part of it is the writing, because I think that's a kid who we've seen in a lot of movies be a lot different in the nuances of that kid. We're just like, I was so expecting this like rebellious, shitty, pouty, like moody kid, and like he's got some of that in him, but like he's also just like a regular, like he felt so real to me. He felt very like, and I know that's sort of a trap that sometimes we fall into as critics of movies, is that like, oh, this felt very real, so that's got to be good. But like there were ways that he was where he was sort of like bravado, but that would sort of melt away, and he would allow himself to have these like real conversations, and he would actually like tell Casey Affleck's character like what he wanted out of things, and he's so wonderful.
No
I
one
love
writes
him.
teenagers better than Kenneth Lonergan.
Yeah.
He's the fucking best, as good as anyone ever at
Yeah.
writing teenagers. And I think he understands fundamentally that all teenagers are performing,
Yeah.
which is the key. And I like how fucking funny that character is.
Yes.
How much people talk about Manchester being a supremely depressing movie,
This is
which
my
it
thing.
is.
This is my
Very
thing.
It's got
funny.
more laughs than most
It has-
comedies.
And
of
that's why I
2016.
sort of bristle when people would be like, see that movie, but man, like you're going to be wrecked. It's like,
Shit ton of great laughs.
half the movie's a kid trying to get laid.
yeah, that scene where it's in the trailer
Working
too, where he
on
goes,
it.
I'm working on it. It means I'm working on it.
Star
Yeah.
Trek.
Funny.
I want to shout out Mr. Billy Crudup in
Yes.
20th Century
He
Women.
was my number 6.
What a great
Best
year
hands
for him.
Yeah.
in 2016 cinema.
My number 6, and it was so
Those hands.
close. It hurt me to leave him
Yeah.
off. I saw 20th Century a second time, and that performance really exploded for
It's
me.
incredible.
Yeah.
It's one of
Knowing
those-
the whole character from the beginning makes it even richer.
The scene where he kisses her at the bar, and then she's like, "Why did you do that? I thought you were with Abby." And he's like, "Well, we're not really like it's." He
Yeah,
says something.
He's like,
just
it's not serious. And then,
And then
she's
she
like,
goes,
well,
"Well, then why
it?
do it?" And the look on his face in reaction to that
It's one of
is
those.
amazing.
I mean, and it's true of every character in that movie. Like, you're like, oh, this is like a kind of hippie, crunchy guy.
I get it.
I get
Yeah.
it. And then immediately you're like, no, I don't think I have this guy right. And he keeps like evading your tracking.
Yeah.
And then in the period scene, the menstruation scene,
Yes.
where he's like, oh, sometimes it's
Make
very
love to the
nice.
whole woman.
And remember to make love to the whole woman, not just the vagina. And it's like the fact that he's not always that smart.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But then sometimes he can be very profound.
Yeah.
And Crudup just like keeps him from ever being cartoony. Crudup's a good actor.
It's
yeah.
After I saw that movie the first time, I think I tweeted out, I was like, this movie is what happens when William Miller, his mother, his sister, what's his character's name in Almost Famous?
Oh, the Stillwater guy. Why are we forgetting the name of the guy?
Russell Hammond.
Russell
Hammond.
Hammond.
And
Oh, you need his
Sapphire
character.
from Almost Famous
Yeah.
all like went and got a house in Santa Barbara. Like that's how it felt to me. Like this is Russell Hammond sort of growing up a little bit wiser, but still a little bit of like a doofus.
Yeah.
All right. Rafe Fiennes in A Bigger Splash.
Oh yeah. What's the
You
controversy
claim
here?
it's a lead performance.
I fully believe it's a lead
borderline, but I think it's supporting. Yeah.
Tilda's the only lead in that movie.
There are co-leads, and one of them is Ray Fiennes.
That's a great movie though. And
Yep.
he's so like that's Rafe Fiennes turned up to 12. Like it's wonderful.
It's one of those things where he comes
He's so
in and
gross in so much of that movie too.
he's such a fucking like simmering cauldron of insecurity
and herpes. Yeah.
and herpes. And he comes into the movie and you're like, I get it. He's like the spark plug. Like I've seen this before.
Yeah.
And then the scene where he dances to Emotional Rescue
Yep.
and he turns the movie into his movie for a minute. He's like
Yeah.
jiving for the camera.
Well,
Like,
then
that
even-
is not easy to do.
No, I agree, and I think that's why it's his movie.
No, it's
from
her
beginning
But
to
then
end.
later in
'Cause
that movie,
I mean, spoiler alert.
but
the
that
other
happens
musical
late.
scene in that movie is
Not that
when
late.
he and Tilda do karaoke at
Yes.
the bar, and she's not supposed to be singing, and it's the two of them sort of like
Yes. Yeah.
facing
yeah.
off and singing it to each other. It's great.
But yeah, no, it is not his movie because I feel like you're forgetting about the end of the movie.
Spoiler alert: it's a sequel to Unbreakable.
Unbreakable.
And Shia LaBeouf, why aren't you guys nominated Shia?
I love that movie.
Oh, you haven't
And I
seen
think
it.
you
You should
haven't
see it.
I think he's probably, if I had a top 10 list or top 12 list, he'd be on it.
Put it this way. If I told you just a year ago, there's going to be a movie where you're going to have a crush on Shia LaBeouf with a rat tail, suit pants, and a white T-shirt.
I super want to have sex with Shia LaBeouf in tick-infested tall grass now after seeing that movie.
God, the best sex scene of the year.
It's a really good sex scene of the year. Yeah.
Love Shia LaBeouf. American Hunt's going to show up a few times. All right.
Yep.
Okay. As I said, Billy Crudup would be my number 6.
Sure.
Tom Bennett's also in my runners.
Tom Bennett's so funny.
Yeah, Tom Bennett.
Churchill. That's what he does.
And that's his
Amazing.
basically his first scene in the movie. You see him a little bit before that.
He's a bit of a rattle.
The other one, I'm kind of maybe proving my own point here by leaving him off, even though it really hurt me. I think Liam Neeson's phenomenal in Silence, and I haven't heard anyone talk about
Liam
it.
Neeson's fantastic in Silence. Tadanobu Asano is amazing.
Is he the one who plays the one who keeps snitching on them?
Yes. He is really good.
Yeah.
Issy Agata is really good. Everyone is good in that movie, but especially all those supporting performers.
Yes.
You know, I mean,
that
Neeson
movie is on my ensemble list. I feel like that was really underrated when it came to an ensemble.
And I think Neeson falls into the Patriots Day category where he enters just that first scene where he comes face to face with Garfield.
Yeah.
It's just it becomes his movie.
That's a scene.
Every line reading has 3 different interpretations to it.
Yep.
He's got to play 3 different vibes simultaneously with every sentence.
Yep.
I think it's incredible, but yet I'm a fucking hypocrite because I left him off my 5.
Well, it's tough.
You are a hypocrite.
I am a hypocrite.
Well, the thing is also, all year I'd read the book and I was like, I really think this is going to be a Neeson threat to win.
Yeah,
because it is kind of like a Colonel Kurtz character.
Yes.
And then the movie is so restrained when he shows up, and his performance is so restrained that I was like, okay, this is not what this is going to be.
Right,
but he is fantastic nonetheless.
It feels very sort of glib to say Silence was a movie that was too good for the Oscars, but I think Silence was a movie that was 100%. Too good for the Oscars.
Some other, I like everyone in The Lobster. John C. Reilly and Ben Whishaw especially are hysterical in The Lobster.
My wonderful husband, Ben Whishaw.
He's a wonderful husband to us all. Jeff Bridges is great in Hell or High Water. I don't care that it's just Jeff Bridges doing his bullshit.
Okay,
he's fantastic.
So we all agree that there was one day where he became Yosemite Sam.
No, it happened, and that's the world we live in
Billy
now.
Gruff. He chews on Tin Cans.
Everybody in Everybody Wants Some.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
Glenn
it's
Powell,
tough. Glenn Powell's the obvious one, but there's so many great.
Ryan Guzman is. I'm so proud of that kid. I'm very protective of all the Step Up kids.
Oh sure, is he one of them?
He's one of them, and I love him.
I have more. I can't stop. I'm sorry, guys.
No,
I'm on a roll now.
Please.
Patrick Stewart in Green Room is so good. The idea of a scary bureaucrat Nazi who never raises his voice.
Sure.
Never really what do you have?
I couldn't get past the accent. I think the accent is so bad that it took me out of the movie every single time.
Love it.
Yeah.
Who the fuck? What is his name? Jesus Christ. I know his name and it's escaped me, but it's going to come
From
back.
what movie?
Edge of 17.
Oh, Hayden
Setzo. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Was also on my breakthrough actor list.
That first scene where he says Coolio, it's incredible.
He's got such a Justin Long thing. I want to hug him for a day and a half.
You guys know the most impressive thing about that performance.
What's that?
He's 31 years old.
Yes.
I know. And when I saw
who did you talk to? Angie Hunt about that, right? Yeah.
10 Cloverfield Lane, Goodman, just doing Goodman stuff.
Yep.
Finally, we've talked about it, you and I, for sure. Aaron Eckhart in Sully.
Yep.
Oh,
Brings
God.
it. He lands the plane. He gets the plane going again. And he lands it somewhere else. He lands it all over your fucking face.
And here's another thing. We talk a lot about, when we talk about performances, we talk about them carrying the movie, right? Carrying a scene, carrying their co-star. What do you have to carry in your role, in your work in this film? He's got to carry a goddamn push broom on his upper lip the entire fucking film. That's the hardiest mustache I've ever seen.
It's a great mustache. Not only that, he has a line where he legitimately complains about the price of drinks and snacks in hotel minibars, and you buy that it has just occurred to this guy how expensive that he does not know that is a common complaint.
Spoiler alert, Sully is an American masterpiece. We're going to keep talking about it for the rest of this episode.
Sully. Sully.
5 letters, they spell America.
Back in the rack.
Sully fucking rules. Everyone's going to think that you and I are trolling David.
No, that's the problem with Sully.
I do feel trolled. I do feel incredibly trolled right now.
I remember I said it to, I think it was Richard Lawson. I said, isn't Sully great? And he kind of leaned in and he was like, are you kidding? And I was like, I'm not kidding. And he was like, it is great. Like, it was one of those things where I had to be like, I had to say the password
It
first.
is. It's very, very
Isn't Sully
passwordy.
great cream cheese? And he's like, cream cheese. Yes, it is great. Like,
And here's what drives me crazy. I talked to a lot of people who are like, I mean, I enjoyed watching Sully, but come on, it's not a good movie.
get the fuck out of
You
here. with
enjoyed
that.
watching it.
Get
you
on
think
a
that was
plane
by
and crash in the
accident?
Hudson with that.
You think that was by accident?
Birds.
You think they accidentally made something that you liked
Best
watching?
vocal performance is the guy who said birds. Is it a lady? I can't remember.
Fucking Sully
Birds.
rules. Aaron Eckhart rules.
All right.
Oh, guys.
Best actor. Let's do best actor.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
let's do that.
ready?
We'll switch it up.
No, because actress needs to be the last
This
one.
is good because I'm about
that's
to
the main event.
I'm about to piss you off a couple times in a row. here.
Fuck this bullshit
Ready?
you're about to do. Yeah.
And my nominees for Best Actor in a Leading Role are...
We should say kind of a weak year.
Really weak.
yes.
Yeah.
As was
Weirdly-
last year.
As was last
Really
year,
weak
which is
year.
unusual.
Yes.
I count 3 things I'm about to do that will piss you off.
Oh, excited.
Ready?
Ugh.
Yeah.
My nominees are...
Stomach has turned. Yeah,
Tom Hanks in Sully.
of course. Yeah.
David Oyelowo in Queen of Katwe.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Real Griff pick there.
Mm-hmm.
Colin Farrell in The Lobster.
Yeah.
Huh?
Ray Fiennes in A Bigger Splash.
And he is good though.
And let me straighten my bow tie
I've
here.
only counted one thing so far.
John Goodman in 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Oh.
Interesting.
I could see that. I'd see the argument for that.
Yeah, I could too. Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
that doesn't piss me off at all. He's kind of a quasi lead though. It's tough.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. But I would honestly, I only saw it once. I'd kind of need to see it again to remember like how much, because he does disappear for stretches of the movie when she is sort of doing like the investigation.
He's okay.
Like, of the bunker.
He sort of falls down under the Hannibal Lecter statute, though, right?
I think that's fair.
He's in a lot
and
of
he's
it,
in a
though.
lot of the movie, and like the movie,
and he looms
you know,
like he looms large in more ways than one. Yeah,
And he is one of our finest actors.
one of our finest
Fantastic
actors. Still
actor.
never Oscar nominated.
he'd
cannot
be a
say it enough.
2-time Oscar winner in my books.
For which two? Barton Fink and Lebowski.
He did it. Just like that.
Lebowski, he's
Oh my god.
yeah.
Talk about an iconic performance that nobody like gives enough respect to, and
Yeah.
people give a lot of respect to that movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Perhaps sometimes more than they should, but yet
Yeah.
he's still underrated somehow.
I agree.
Gentlemen, would you like to share your...
Yeah. So mine are.
Wait, what was the third thing though?
I think you'll realize it later. Okay.
Okay. Casey Affleck for Manchester by the Sea. Colin Farrell for The Lobster.
Mhm.
Andy Garfield for Silence.
Mm-hmm.
Andy Garfield.
Trevante Rhodes for Moonlight, which we can talk about
Sure,
lead
sure,
versus
sure. That's
supporting
your-
We'll
there.
talk about it. Yeah.
And then Denzel for Fences.
Casey Affleck, Manchester by the Sea.
Sure, we don't have to like him, but
Look,
we can.
what can I do?
It's a great performance.
But caveat: seems like a bit of a jerk.
Seems like a bit of a jerk.
Adam Driver for
It's a
Patterson.
great one. He was my 6th.
Colin Farrell for The Lobster. Tom Hanks for Sully. Denzel Washington for Fences. Honestly, my 6 is probably Ryan Gosling. Like that, it's a weirdly weak year.
Yeah.
And I think Gosling's terrific.
I think
in La La
Gosling's very
Land.
good in that movie. He was close for me. Also close for me. Chris Pine in Hell or High Water.
Great,
Yeah,
great performance.
great performance.
What are some? Yeah, let's think.
I got Logan Lerman as a runner-up for Indignation.
Nice.
I did like Garfield in Silence, and I, thought he was okay in Hacksaw Ridge, although
I think it's
really
it's
well
definitely
cast in
his,
that.
his
he's well
lesser
cast.
performance of
It's
the
that
two.
movie's first half is so
Yeah.
fucking goofy.
It's so goofy. I also have Dev Patel as a runner-up for Lion, and sort of under the Trevante Rhodes thing of the character is the lead character. Are
I'm
we
reaching
shaking
out
hands on
to
this?
give Joe
Uh-huh.
a shake
Yeah.
of the hand because
Yeah,
Dev Patel is a lead in Lion.
Yes, that character's
Yeah,
the lead.
he's
I
a
think
supporting performer.
sometimes we get hung up on screen time, and
Yes, we do.
yes, I think with both Trevante Rhodes and Dev Patel, they are the leads of their portions of the movie.
Sure.
And it I don't know. It's tough to. It's very borderline. I can see it.
I
Going.
think the difference between those two is cutting something into halves rather than thirds.
Yeah.
And I think thirds makes it supporting and halves makes it lead.
I think you can do whatever you want, but I think Dev Patel's supporting, but also lead. Like I don't care.
Yeah.
Do you think Trump's going to change the rules of the Blanky Awards? You saying you
You
can
know
do
what?
whatever you
I
want?
don't want
makes
to
me
talk
think-
about Donald Trump.
Yeah. Let's.
Here, I have some words. I have some people though, like some runners up.
Can,
Yeah,
I
let's
say,
hear it.
can I say 2 more runners?
Oh,
up?
sure. Yeah.
Michael Shannon,
I thought you were moving us off the runners up. Michael Shannon in
Midnight Special.
Yeah. It's an okay movie. I liked Edgerton the best of the Midnight Special ensemble.
Yeah.
I
I thought
think he's
Edgerton
very
was
good too.
terrific in that. It was a movie that did not stick with me.
And one more
Severely did not.
wild card on my
Sure.
6 through 10.
Sure.
Julian Dennison for Hunt for the Wilder People.
Oh.
An adorable movie.
That is a
and
Griffin
he's very
pick,
cute.
That's
Ew.
a Griffin pick.
Yeah. What a great movie.
I want to
Great
shout out Russell Crowe in The Nice Guys, which is a tough movie because it really has like two co-leads who both do a great job, but neither of them.
Oh, wait, so when you said Ryan Gosling, you meant The Nice Guys.
No, I meant La La Land.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, he's great in The Nice Guys, too.
I think he's phenomenal.
So
in The Nice
funny.
Guys. Yeah.
It's just, I like him in both.
Yeah.
I just think La La Land is a tough thing, and luckily, I think he really landed it. No one ever talked about how he like talked too much about jazz.
But David.
No one brought that up.
Jazz. But jazz, David.
I mean, look, obviously La La Land is a totemic work of racism on the scale of The Birth of a Nation, the D.W. Griffith one. No, whatever. Okay. We're actually weirdly not going to talk much about La La Land.
Jazz, though.
Jazz, though. I'm trying to think if there are any other obvious leads. I kind of like your 10 Cloverfield Lane argument.
Yeah, it's a good argument. It's a persuasive argument.
A great lead in a movie that nobody saw in this country is Dave Johns and I, Daniel Blake, which is a pretty darn good movie.
Still haven't seen it.
And he's fucking fantastic. Joel Edgerton was good in Loving.
Yep. Very understated.
Christian Bale's kind of good in Night of Cups.
Oh, I haven't seen it. Oh, I don't know when I'm going to end up
I'll be
seeing
talking
that
about Night of
movie.
Cups a little bit later.
Oh, I know you will.
Uh-oh.
Andy Samberg's pretty great in Pop Star.
Yeah.
Never Stop, Never Stop.
That is a Golden Globe nomination snub that hurts.
Pretty rude.
What the fuck?
I feel like there's one other obvious one that I am forgetting. Wait, I'm just looking. Not Ben Affleck and Live by Night, that's for sure. I'm just sort of like scrolling down my list.
I have Gael Garcia Bernal in Neruda.
Yeah, he's
But
good.
nobody
It's sort
really
of
saw that movie.
almost a supporting performance. Like,
It
that's
is almost
an
a
odd
supporting.
one. Oh, right. Yeah, look. Two movies that are not good, but I like the leads.
Let's hear it.
Jonah Hill in War Dogs is great.
Oh,
I'm
refuse.
sorry.
I refuse.
I'm
Haven't seen it,
sorry.
but I heard.
I won't see that movie.
Oh, I know, and it's fine. And Michael Fassbender's fantastic in The Light Between Oceans. It's a
You know
real
what?
Fassbender performance, but
It
it
is.
doesn't mean he's not good.
Yeah.
Like, that movie would suck without him.
I
And
stick
as,
up for that.
as it is with him, it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
I left Casey Affleck off my 5.
For political reasons.
I felt like it.
Yeah.
You know, like if I'm being completely honest with myself, yes, that is empirically one of the 5 best performances I saw all year.
Yeah.
That stands. Does me giving him
You don't want to invite him to your ceremony.
Right. I mean, it's like my nomination fucking means nothing. We're recording in like a
Right.
fucking closet and I'm just saying bullshit. But it just, I felt like I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
The performance still stands. It doesn't negate the work.
Yeah.
But like maybe I don't need to laud him. I mean, I sat there and I was like, if I can come up with 5 nominees that I think are good, where I'm not stretching it and
Yeah.
pushing someone above him
Right.
who doesn't deserve to be there,
Yeah.
then I'll leave him off. And when I like decided that Goodman was lead,
Yeah.
then that was like the shift for me.
I hear you.
That's where I stand
Cool.
on that.
Yeah. Who else? I mean, who are your winners?
Okay, ready?
Did we
Yeah.
say our winners for
No, we
supporting
didn't.
actor?
Let's go around the horn.
Wait, who were our supporting actor winners?
Oh, but fuck, we didn't say winners.
We didn't say the winners.
Aaron Reich. Aaron Reich's my winner.
Mahershala Ali's my winner.
At the time that I saw Hail Caesar, said I can't imagine that anyone would beat Aaron Reich for me. And then I saw Moonlight, and I think Mahershala Ali is one of the best performances I've ever seen in a movie.
Agreed.
But we're
Well
all
done. Well
essentially
picked.
talking about the same 2 people.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
All right, so best actor, my winner is Adam Driver for Patterson. It
Yeah,
is
let's talk
the
about Patterson.
greatest fucking movie. Have you seen Patterson?
I have.
Okay.
I was whelmed by it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well,
I
you're
liked
an
it.
idiot.
I liked it a lot. I think Driver's great. Driver's one of my favorite actors. I was distressed.
Yeah, I agree.
I was
I agree.
distressed to see how skinny he got in Silence. I really
So
hope
skinny.
he had some food.
He'll beef
after
back
that.
up for Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
He'll
yeah.
beef up.
Last Jedi. I cannot wait. Yeah, Patterson's really good. The thing about most Jarmusch movies that are not, what's the vampire one?
Only Lovers Left.
Only Lovers Left, which I adored. Every other Jarmusch movie, I'm like, yeah, that's a good movie. And I sort of like nod and I sort of like maybe forget about it a little bit. There's a dog joke in Patterson that will stick with me forever and ever.
Do you mean the mailbox?
Yeah.
What a great
So
fucking,
brilliant.
What a great fucking payoff that is.
Otherwise, that movie is
Love it.
sort of like, yeah, good movie. But I agree with you that Driver is brilliant. My winner would be Denzel. I think
He's so
somewhat
good.
perfunctorily, like it feels
No, it doesn't
not
matter. He's
exciting
amazing.
to talk about like Denzel's my number one, but he's great.
It's like seeing like a great tenor perform at the Oscar,
Yeah.
at the opera or whatever. You know, like it's just you're like, oh, here he goes, and
there
yep,
it
he
is.
knows exactly what he's doing.
There it is. Yep.
My winner is Tom Hanks for Sully.
He's so good.
And I'll admit that's also boosted by Hologram for the King, which I think is fantastic. And he
Still
gave
haven't seen it.
2 of my favorite leading performances of the year. I think he's
Is that Tickver?
it is Tom Tickver,
Yeah.
our old friend.
Yep.
And I think he's just like the fucking like redwood oak of American cinema.
I got no beef with any of this.
And talking to our friend Richard Lawson when we were having our conversation where we both said cream cheese to each other, and then we're allowed to go into the basement and talk about Sully.
Cream cheese.
I together we developed this theory that the thing that's so satisfying about this present day Tom Hanks run, where he has sort of dropped all affectations and just become a really fucking strong, straight down the line actor.
Yeah.
Is that he's playing people who are good at their jobs, and he himself is good at his job of acting.
Yes.
And it's the Bridge of Spies thing. It's the Sully thing. It's so satisfying to watch someone who just excels in their profession.
Yeah.
And you're watching that on 2 layers with any Hanks performance.
I still don't think anything in the last 2 movies that you mentioned compares to Captain Phillips. I feel like that's
great too. But that's a different performance. He's good at his job, but he's under a lot more.
I love all 3 of those. Those are my 3 Tom Hanks is great at his job.
And much as I didn't like Sully, but I think he's very good at Sully.
Birds, if you like Sully, tweet at me, #cream cheese.
Yes,
and,
#cream cheese.
And I'll know you're
tweet
in the
me
club.
too.
Yeah, sure. If you want. It's my idea. Adam Driver's great. We can talk more about Patterson.
Okay.
Adam Driver's my favorite performance.
Best actress? I'm going to stop here. So I watched Patterson. I liked it. I saw Adam Driver's performance. I liked it. I knew this was.
I'm glad that when you watched Patterson, you saw his performance, because otherwise you really would not have been paying much attention.
A lot of looking away.
I saw it. I recognized what he was doing.
Uh-huh.
I enjoyed it.
Uh-huh.
I went in knowing that it was your favorite performance of the year. I don't
know if it's. There's a lot of good performances this year. Like Ali is.
Yeah.
Okay, I maybe talk a little bit more about like what he's doing in that movie, because like it's so subtle.
That's what I'm asking.
He's showing the movie is about understanding like creativity, like which is a very difficult thing to depict. Like, and he is so good at showing you like a person taking in the world in a specific way rather than just like I don't know, like a camera.
Yeah,
and I get that it's obviously a low key subtle movie.
Oh yeah.
But there's something about, I can't deny that he's an actor who's so charismatic to me, like no matter what he's doing. Like even if he's in,
for sure,
Jerk Off Indy number 6, right? Like, when's Adam Driver bad?
And it's a watching and listening movie, so it needs someone who's that innately interesting to watch.
But to play someone who is so subdued and like, will have conversations with like, you think the people he loves, like his, wife or partner. Do we actually know if they're married?
I think there's a horrifying.
I don't think they're married, but that's just my hunch.
His live-in girlfriend,
his lady,
or his boss at the like bus depot or whatever, and like, you would almost think like someone does this wrong, and you're like, am I watching a movie about like an autistic person?
Right.
Like, but he's not like that. You get what everyone sees in him.
Yeah.
I could talk about it for a while. It's tough. It's my favorite movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be my number 1 of the year, but for a couple of really great movies.
Yeah.
Like, and in another year, it easily could have been my number
remember
1.
during
Watch
the
it
summer,
again sometime, but like, give it a while. Like,
remember during the summer when everybody was talking about what a terrible year for movies this was and how it rebounded so hard in the fall?
It's true.
It's really amazing.
It's one of those things where if you look at the top 30 grossing movies of the year,
it's
50,
a nightmare.
It's really quite
nightmare.
horrifying. For the first time, I'm really kind of like beginning to worry, and I've always been someone who dismissed those like,
me too.
Comic book movies are ruining the, but then again, there are so many good movies.
Yeah.
They're just smaller.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know, like I don't know.
And I feel like the bulk of the crappy movies in the top 30, it's not even comic books. It's just like these sort of like
boring
uninspired sequels.
Boring animated movies, kind of like, boring reboots.
Yes,
like whatever.
Exactly.
All right, Best Actress.
Best Actress. Can I go first?
Yeah, this is the bloodbath category.
Okay. So this is the one where I had
It's
6.
so hard.
I had 6, and I'm literally like deciding now who I'm gonna
it's
bump
like
up.
you're ordering and you haven't quite decided between the salmon and the chicken.
I have my 10 contenders all could have won in a different year.
Yeah.
Like I have 10 people fighting for 5 slots who could have been winners in a weaker category.
So the chicken that I'm not choosing as opposed to the salmon is Kate Beckinsale in Love and Friendship, who I think is phenomenal, but like the other 5. So my 5 are Amy Adams in Arrival, Annette Bening in 20th Century Women, Viola Davis in Fences, Rebecca Hall in Christine, and Natalie Portman in Jackie.
Okay. My 5 are.
It's so hard.
It's so hard.
You can't help but leave off great, capital G, great performances.
Yeah.
My 5 are Amy Adams in Arrival.
Yes.
Isabelle Huppert in Elle.
Yes.
Yep.
Natalie Portman in Jackie.
Yes.
Haley Steinfeld in Edge of 17.
Great.
And Annette Bening for 20th Century Women.
There you go.
Yeah, mine are Amy Adams in Arrival, Isabelle Huppert in Things to Come,
Yep.
although I like her now too.
Yep.
I think it's hard. She's
L2
great in both.
is such a strange sequel.
Oh boy, I
Into
would
it.
love to see it.
Comma-T-O-O.
Her performances in Elle and Things to Come are a great example of why Isabelle Huppert is one of our best actresses. Because
that's totally
talk
true.
about two movies that are very different.
Yep.
Ruth Negga in Loving.
Yep.
Annette Bening in 20th Sen. And my winner, Sasha Lane in American Honey.
Interesting. I loved that movie. I don't know if I'm super sold on her as an actress. I think a lot of what's great about Andrea Arnold's direction in that movie, like, is
Love
sort
that
of,
too.
Yeah,
Preview.
it's a nice. Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
Who would your winner be?
But
Joe?
like everyone you
sorry.
mentioned, I love.
Yeah.
Steinfeld is like a really hard one to leave off for me because I think that is a really hard performance to
Yeah.
pull off.
Yes.
There's like we'll mention them. There's so many other people.
Yeah.
Can I stump for Steinfeld for 1 second?
Do it. Yeah.
please.
Because that was one where I went, she has no chance, and I have to make sure no matter what, when we do our awards episode, I nominate her.
No,
Yeah.
and you have to
Because
leave her
that's
off.
like a fucking...
She's my sixth.
Right. Her opening scene in that movie, where she goes into Woody Harrelson's office and
Yeah.
explains to
So
him why
she's gonna
she's going to
kill
kill
herself.
herself.
Yeah.
And she simultaneously plays the severity of someone who genuinely believes they might take their own life
Yeah.
and lands every single joke.
Every
Yep.
comic
is
beat.
insane.
Yep.
Because I remember years and years
Talk
ago...
about the tough opening to a movie where you might be turning off the whole audience.
Yeah.
Thank you.
basically.
Yeah.
Thank you. Years and years ago, I had an audition to play like a suicidal kid in a comedy, right? And I had just been taking a lot of acting classes and was really serious about my fucking craft and whatever.
Yeah.
And I went in there and was like, I have to play this real. Like, I'm not going to make a joke out of this. And I went in and they were like, that's way too heavy for a comedy.
Right. This
And
is
I-
a comedy.
Right. And I've always viewed that as my Waterloo. Like, not that specific performance in that audition, but like,
It's
can you...
another of your favorite phrases.
Yes. But can you like fucking do that? Like, can you hit the joke
Yeah.
lines that have to exist within the script while playing the emotion seriously? Because I
Yeah.
get angry when I see comedies where people's problems aren't portrayed with accurate depth.
It's strange that when Griffin says "My Waterloo," he means the ABBA song.
I do mean the ABBA song.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
A sort of mid-level, like not the song that they're most well known for.
Right, but they
like,
want it to be their
my
number one hit.
Yeah.
favorite thing about Mamma Mia is that they just sing that over the end credits
Yep.
because how on earth do you fit that into a plot?
Yep, exactly.
But yeah, Steinfeld is like, get you a performance that can do both.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And she nails every single joke. It's some of the like most ace, sharp comedic timing I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
For
I
someone
should
who's
say
not a
Michael B.
comedian.
Jordan presented my nominees.
Oh,
Oh,
I
right.
think
Congrats to
he
you,
won
Michael
from
B.
all three of us.
I think he did. Yeah.
He swept.
What a handsome man.
What a
Yeah.
handsome man.
Bring back Jordan. Where is he?
Filming fantastic.
Wait, so who's
for-
your winner?
So
My winner is Sasha Lane.
Right. My winner was Viola Davis up until I saw 20th Century Women a second time, and then Benning sort of leapfrogged her.
Benning's great.
She's so good, and without like this is my thing is like Viola Davis is phenomenal and gets that like big showcase like snot dripping down her face
Oh,
scene
sure.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Annette Bening doesn't get a scene like that written
No.
for her in the movie, and even still, she manages to be like wildly impressive in so many different ways.
Mm-hmm. Who's your winner, Briff?
My winner is Amy Adams for.
It's a fantastic
love that
performance. By the way,
winner.
we didn't shout out Jeremy Renner in our supporting actor
Yes.
bonanza,
Well, a
but
lot of
he's
people
fantastic.
don't like in that movie.
I think
we
he's
all
great.
a lot
agree
of
on
people
that.
are really
I think
stupid.
he's great
Yes.
in that movie.
A lot of people don't like Arrival.
I know.
Which is also
Dummies.
unacceptable.
If
Yeah.
you like Jeremy Renner in Arrival, tweet at us Cottage Street.
We love
Just
the
going
white
through the
men.
dairy case is what we're doing.
I think I feel the way about Amy Adams in Arrival that you do about Jim Jarmusch and Patterson, which isn't to say
Jim Jarmusch and Patterson.
I'm sorry, Adam Driver and Patterson.
I fucking love Amy Adams in Arrival.
I think it's such an understated performance
It is.
that is you're watching someone think for most of the movie.
Yeah.
And I think she has. She's one of my favorite living actresses. And
Too bad about how bad she was in American Hustle.
Disagree actually.
So bad, so bad, so bad.
I've told
What
you
did
about my thing.
What did you think I was going to say?
I don't know actually. I thought you were maybe going to say Nocturnal Animals, but
Yeah, she's not
my
great
favorite thing about American Hustle is that cast is a Rorschach inkblot test for people who watch it, and it's just like it's everybody who comes out of that movie
Yeah.
has a different like ranking of who was good and who was bad in that movie. I think Jennifer Lawrence is terrible, and I think Amy Adams
she's
is
not great.
great.
I think they're both bad. Jeremy Renner is the only good performance.
Amy Adams is great in Arrival. You're watching someone think,
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you're right.
and also
And take in information that you don't realize, but then on a rewatch you do realize she doesn't understand,
Yes.
which is hard to, a high wire act.
Also,
to
very
get both of
complicated
those
She
performance.
delivers
Yeah.
such good voiceover in that movie
Yep.
in a way that's like Cate Blanchett in Lord of the Rings level, like, compelling, I find.
And she makes it all look effortless. It falls into the Tom
Yep.
Hanks category where she's playing someone who's great at her job, and she is herself showing you how to act
Yeah.
while doing it. She wins. It's almost like a Lifetime Achievement Award for me.
Sure.
I mean, I think it's probably objectively my favorite of those performances, but she also gets kind of grandfathered in from the fact that she should have won like 6 times. Although I think she's probably won like 6 times in my personal awards.
Yeah. She's great. She's
Did you
great.
say who your winner? Your winner was Annette Bening.
Was Annette Bening.
Yeah,
yes.
who's number 2 for me.
Yeah.
So
so many runners-up,
Yeah, some
like-
performances you want to shout out, guys. Oh, Sasha Lane, by the way, she's fucking lightning in a bottle. American Honey's the best movie of the year.
It's so great. Hooper was a runner-up for me.
So
Nega
good.
was a runner-up for me.
Nega's so good. Nega, that scene where she calls him on the phone. That's
Yeah.
all she does,
Yeah.
and it's all she communicates in her face. Like,
Yeah.
is just like, you know what? I'm actually going to pick up the phone. Like, without any, like, overacting, any fucking... What's her name in Tony Urban is so good. What the
Oh, yeah.
Sandra Huller.
Yeah.
That's very good in that.
We all saw the Vanity Fair video where Ruth Nega makes an Irish coffee. Yes.
Yes.
God,
Ruth
it's
Nega's the
so
best.
wonderful. I love her. Emma Suarez for Julieta is on my.
Haven't
on my
seen
runners-up.
Julieta.
seen it.
Gotta get to
I've
it.
talked to people who are really into Almodovar who are like, yeah, it's mid-level Almodovar. For me, it's the most I've liked an Almodovar movie since like Bad Education.
Wow.
It's really good.
Sure.
I liked it a lot.
Royalty Hightower in the Fits is
Sure.
a wonderful debut performance. I assume it's a debut performance.
Very good
Yeah.
debut
That movie
performance.
is fantastic.
Yeah.
Minhee Kim from The Handmaiden
Yep.
Who Falls into the Trap I already
Absolutely.
laid out.
Natalie Portman. I didn't nominate Natalie Portman and Jackie. She's great in Jackie. Jackie's
Also,
great.
and this is such a hipstery pick, but like Krisha Fairchild in Krisha is
It's a good movie.
such like a presence. in
Check
that
it out,
movie.
guys. It's on Netflix.
It's
man.
like we suddenly got an
Or
Urban
Amazon.
Outfitters.
I
here
know.
in the-
That's why I almost hated to say it.
None of
but,
us
like,
nominated the Oscar winner. I'm going to put it on for the record, Emma Stone, but she's pretty good in La La Land.
I like her in La La Land.
It's
I
a
have no
charming
beef. I
performance.
have
I
no
like
beef
her a
with her in La
lot.
La
She's
Land.
fine in that movie.
Yeah.
That movie is fine.
The movie's good. Very good, actually. Griffin's wrong about that.
It's
But
fine.
Emma Stone's
I
not
think
why
it's
I
good.
like it.
I think it's good.
Although I think she's good.
It's fine. My other person,
Beckinsale's great.
my other runner-up,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Beckinsale.
Susan
Beckinsale's
Sarandon for The Meddler.
Mr. Lawson. I didn't
Mr.
realize
Lawson's
you were
number one.
Our buddy Richard Lawson picked his #1 movie of the year. I said,
think she's
"Harumph,
wonderful in
That
that
is
movie.
incredulous. I cannot believe that is possible. And then I watched it, and boy, is that a fun movie. Is she really good?
It's a
in
fun
it?
movie, and she's really good in it.
She's
Yeah.
really good in it.
Yeah.
Taraji P. Henson's really good in Hidden Figures.
Yeah.
I think kind of a weirdly tough role.
It's a weirdly written role. I feel
oddly
like.
written, but
Yeah.
she is good. I personally think Melissa McCarthy and Kristen Wiig are great in Ghostbusters, and
That's
didn't get
kind
me
of a
to.
controversial opinion.
I would say Wiig's better.
I agree. I think
Um,
McCarthy isn't great, but that's more to do with the character being underwritten rather than her performance.
And I do feel like there was
Yeah.
a little bit of her sort of taking her foot off the gas in that movie a little bit, right?
They wrote the Leslie Jones role for her.
Oh, that
She
makes
said
sense.
she didn't want to do that because she didn't want to play the firebrand.
Yeah.
She wanted to try to play against type.
Yeah.
And I think the role she ended up taking, which had been written as sort of just the straightforward,
Right.
functional one,
Yeah.
then there was this awkward meshing between, like, how do you get
That's
what's
fair.
funny about McCarthy with the character who needs to propel?
Yeah.
the,
You
right.
see that.
Oh,
You definitely see
Anya
that.
Taylor-Joy in The Witch.
Yeah.
And of course, she's proven herself quite an interesting young actress, I would say,
Yeah.
in her performances since. Okay.
Best director.
Yeah.
My nominees are Barry Jenkins for Moonlight,
Oh, yeah. Heard about that guy.
Denis Villeneuve for Arrival,
Mm.
Mike Mills for 20th Century Women,
Nice.
Get out of here.
Park Chan-wook for The Handmaiden,
Directed movie.
and Pablo Larraín for Jack Hay.
Also,
Oh, Jack Hay is so good in that movie.
Jack Hay who?
Jack Hay Harry?
Gentlemen, your nominees?
Andrea Arnold, American Honey. Jim Jarmusch, Patterson, Barry Jenks, Moonlights, B. Jenks, Martin Scorsese for Silencio,
Mhm.
and old Dennis Villeneuve for Arrival.
For Arrival.
Sorry
Yeah.
to fuck up everyone's name.
Mine are very similar to all of yours. Andrea Arnold, American Honey, Barry Jenkins, Moonlight, Pablo Larraín, Jackie, Martin Scorsese, Silence, Denis Villeneuve for Arrival. Some really good well-directed movies this year.
I liked a lot of other movies and a lot of other directors too.
Yeah. Yorgos Lanthimos, guys. The Lobster. What a great breakthrough. Like, the fact that movie was
Janke.
so... Oh, For
Mountains
Mountains May Depart.
Great movie.
So good.
Marinade for Tony Erdmann.
I'm going to shout out Karen Kusama one more time for the invitation.
Kusama.
What I'm so glad. That's another sort of Lonergan-like thing where, like, she was, like, totally on the shit list,
Yeah.
right?
Definitely.
And I'm somebody who loves Jennifer's Body a lot.
I do too.
A lot.
A lot of Jennifer's Body stands coming out of the
Yeah.
woodwork. I got to watch the movie again. I saw it on a plane
Yeah.
fucking 8 years ago or whatever. I don't really remember it.
I love it.
Wasn't the thing with the invitation also that her husband wrote the script?
Oh, is that it?
Because her husband's like a pretty successful sort of studio screenwriter.
Okay.
He writes on a franchise that I'm forgetting.
Griffin, I don't view women directors through the lens of their husband.
Yeah, this is
What I was
pretty
going to say is, I
I'm
think he
giving
wrote
you
the screenplay that had some heat around it,
Yeah.
and she was able to like attach herself as a package deal.
She
early
also
on.
directed one
He
of
wrote
the
the
best
ride-alongs.
episodes of television this year, the *Halt and Catch Fire* episode where they all had the big blowout argument
Yes!
in the conference room.
*Halt and Catch Fire* is the best TV
I knew
show.
that was going to be David Bate.
Gentlemen, who is your winner for best director?
Andrew Arnold.
Joe.
I almost want it to be Andrea Arnold. It's Barry Jenkins.
Yeah, mine's Barry Jenkins.
Yeah, he's good. I think he's a talented director.
Yeah, he's one to watch, guys.
It's gonna suck when he loses the Oscar.
It's gonna
but,
suck when he
whatever.
loses the Oscar. Especially, I don't think I like Damien Chazelle.
I actually loved the speech he gave. I was at the New York Film Critics Circle, and I loved the speech he gave.
Humble
I thought it was a
man.
I heard it went on
fantastic
for an
speech.
hour and a day.
Yeah, everyone was rolling their eyes, being like, because it's the end of the night, and
Yeah.
it's been going on for a while, and he's given this like proper speech that he's written, which
Yeah.
is fine, obviously, because he knew he was going to win. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's the winner's dinner.
Yeah.
And it's a terrific speech that if you can find it, you should check out about the movies that influenced La La Land. You should seriously check it out.
Yeah.
I also wrote about it in my La La Land piece on The Atlantic.
I think. I think Moonlight is like. Look, there's obviously a synthesis of different influences, styles,
Yeah.
Dramatic storytelling types,
Absolutely.
all of that. But it feels like he blends it all into something that feels entirely new.
There's things like how he uses a 360 shot in each one of those segments and like what that means, and like
Right.
the sort of intense close-ups. There's sort of like one in each of the segments and what that means.
Yeah, like Moonlight feels to me like he's borrowing words from different languages, but somehow constructing an entirely new language.
yeah.
You know, it
Yes.
feels like very much its own thing. And I've seen the movie 3 times now, and there's just not a moment that feels out of place. Not a shot, not a line,
Yeah.
not a
And
gesture.
on behalf of all that, and it's also like that is I know you talk about like lead in movie making, and like
Right.
every single scene in there just like does what it needs to do and like moves the plot forward or moves a character
Yes.
forward in such precise ways.
And this is a thing that's been discussed ad nauseum throughout this whole season.
Yeah.
But he pointedly did not have the 3 actors playing Chiron meet each other.
Yeah.
And when I walked
heard
out of
that
the
too.
film, I went like, God, what was the rehearsal process like? How much time did he spend with them studying each other's gestures
right.
or
Yeah.
creating a series of combined, shared common gestures? And then to find that out is like, oh, that's directing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
his
yeah.
direction is obviously crucial to
Right.
why that works.
Not just in
Yes.
how he directs the 3 actors, but also how he frames them.
Yeah.
and how
you
he
know?
matches everything together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great director.
Yeah.
Cannot wait to see his next film.
I know, me too.
Do we want to do Best Picture, or do we want to now jump back and do like some other crap?
And say best picture for the grand finale.
Yeah, let's do some other crap.
Let's do some other crap. I like other crap.
Original Screenplay.
Original screenplay.
My
Oh,
nominees
Good year for original
are
screenplays.
Marinade for Tony Erdmann, Ethan and Joel Cohen for Hail Caesar,
Nice.
Jim Jarmusch for Patterson,
Yep.
Yorgos Lanthimos and Efilimi Filipu. I don't know how
That's
you
a
say
tough
his
one.
name.
That's a tough
For
one.
The Lobster,
Yep.
and Richie Big L Big Dick Linklater
Oh,
for
my.
Everybody Wants Some.
Big L and a big dick. Man, this is
Who knows?
who knows. That's really great. I love that Everybody Wants Some is on this list for you.
Love that movie.
That movie became a little bit of a lightning rod for people. I love it. I think it's so great.
It's great. You know what you should do? Watch it again and again and again, because it's very good at that.
Yes, I can
it
imagine.
stands up well.
Mine are 20th Century Women, Mike Mills. Don't Think Twice, Mike Birbiglia. Little Men,
All good nominees so far.
Ira Sachs and Mauricio Zacharias. Manchester by the Sea, Kenny Lonergan, and Other People, Chris Kelly.
My original screenplay nominees are The Lobster,
Boom.
Those dudes.
The Meddler,
Those ladies.
That lady.
yeah,
Those ladies.
Lauren Scafaria.
No, she's the royal we. So.
Yes.
Manchester by the Sea,
Mm.
20th Century Women,
Yep.
and let me
Uh-oh,
adjust my
God.
bow tie again.
Oh, God.
David's gonna be furious.
Oh, God.
Allied,
What a laughable choice. Stephen Knight, I believe, wrote that
a
movie.
wonderful script.
You know what? Here's what I'll say about
What
Allied.
a shitty script.
I thought that was going
That's
to be...
like the last thing I liked about Allied. Like, I liked everything else more than
What
the
a great
script.
piece of writing.
What?
I enjoyed Allied a lot more than I thought I was going to. But yeah,
It
script
rules.
seems to me an interesting place to
Love
honor
it.
that movie.
Love it. Love that the film spends the entire first half setting up the relationship before you even get to what is ostensibly the plot of the film.
Right.
Like that it spends its time. I think it's a series of very well orchestrated moves. I think it's like a lovely, like sort of like a fucking like mouse hunt board of a script.
Cutting you off.
Mouse hunt. What a-
Who's your
Mousetrap.
winner? Better not be Allied.
My winner is Allied. No, my winner is boy. It's a real showdown between Manchester and 20th Century Women.
Yeah.
Both good.
And I feel like I got to give it to 20th Century Women.
That's mine.
I just think it's a movie where every single character is a fucking fully realized human being. And it is a film full of ideas and questions without offering any answers, without being sort of like pedantic or didactic about what it's fucking
When was the
trying to
last
say.
time that sort of like, and I mean, he's done it twice now, but like dreamy voiceover like that. And I don't think it works that well in Beginners, but I think it works.
I think
like
it works so well in this.
gangbusters in 20th
I think the
Century
device of having the characters at the end explain what happens in the rest of their lives
Yep.
is one of the most weirdly
Kills me.
emotional things.
It kills me.
And I also think like good timing, but like to make a movie that's just a bunch of people trying to argue over like what function does man have in current society
Yeah.
at a point where, spoiler, we kind of outlived our purpose.
Well, and the part
Men
where
don't
she's
have
like,
a reason to exist anymore.
and when Annette Bening is talking about like they don't know that Reagan's coming, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, like, and I know that like too many things now when I go see a movie reminds me of our current situation. I think, David, I may have mentioned to you after I got out of Split, I was just like, oh, the part where like the few good personalities are like, or no, the many decent personalities are like, these three don't speak for us. This minority malevolent population doesn't speak for us. I was like, shit, now I got to think of current events and Split of all things.
That's a weird factor. Split, breakable. That's a weird factor to this year.
Unsplittable.
When I was looking at my top films for the year, I was like, wow, it's a weirdly political year. Like all my picks are like political. And I realized, like, no, it's not. It's just that this
You're
everything.
seeing it in these movies.
Someone remarked on this about the Super Bowl, where it's like, oh yeah, now an ad that's just like America's a nice place is suddenly like a wildly political statement.
Controversial. Well, it's like that's what ads, especially like, you know, these big Super Bowl sort of like I'd like to teach the world to sing like Super Bowl ads.
What's also just like empathy has become a partisan issue.
Yeah.
All right, wait, what's your winner? We have to move on.
My winner for Best Original
I forgot.
Screenplay is 20th Century Women.
It's 20th Century.
Okay,
Yeah,
Best
and
Adapted
and-
Screenplay.
20th Century Women.
My winner is Marinade for Tony Erdman.
I gotta see
Tony
He
Erdman.
cupped his hands around his mouth.
Great movie.
Best Adapted
Beautifully written
Screenplay.
movie.
Yes.
My nominees are Arrival,
Written by Eric Hesserer.
Yep, sure.
Hesserer. I interviewed him. He was very nice.
The Handmaiden,
Written by Park Chan-wook and Chung Seo-kyung. I don't know how you say that guy's name. I'm sorry.
Moonlight,
Written by Barry Jenkins and sort of by Terrell Alvin McRaney.
Yes.
Kind of, sort of.
Based
Story
on
by-
his play.
Silence,
Written by Scorsese and Cox, I
believe
believe. Jay
it's
Cox.
Scorsese.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you're right.
and my
Oh gosh.
real Griff pick in the
The real
category.
Griff pick.
It's not going to anger you guys. You guys are just going to laugh. Okay? The Little Prince.
Wow.
Ew, I hated that movie.
Oh, I love it. I think it's lovely.
Ugh.
I think it's lovely.
Ugh.
I think it's lovely and a very clever adaptation of very difficult material to
I
stretch.
never read that book and I was never all that familiar. What
Love
do they do to adapt it?
It's like essentially the film functions as a story within a story,
Right. Yeah.
where it's a girl living next door to the elderly version of the pilot from the book,
Okay.
who recounts it to her. And the entirety of The Little Prince is contained within the body of the film as stop-motion segments of the story.
Gotcha.
And then the last third of the film, which I will not ruin for people, and which is the part that most people either fall in love with the movie or become violently enraged at the movie, kind of meshes the two together in a way that I thought was very inspired.
From the director of the first Kung Fu Panda, I believe.
Yes, Mark Osborne.
Okay, what are your nominees?
For adapted screenplay, I have Arrival, Certain Women by Kelly Reichardt, Hunt for the Wilder People by Taika Waititi.
I did not know that was adapted, actually.
Yeah, I was kind of sort of surprised at that myself. Love and Friendship by Whit Stillman, adapted from the, is it unfinished?
No, it's finished. It was just published after her death, Lady Susan.
Yeah. And Moonlight by Barry Jenkins.
Yeah, mine have a mishmash a year or two. Arrival, Moonlight, which is my winner. Handmaiden, Certain Women, Love and Friendship.
Yeah.
That one didn't sneak in there. All right, what else do we want to do?
Do some other odds and ends here before we get to Best Picture.
Original score?
Oh, I have some original scores. This is a good year for original scores.
No. I was just saying, there are a lot of big ones. I'd say Jackie.
Yep.
I'd say 20th Century Women.
Good score.
I would say Arrival.
Moonlight.
Yep.
I would say Moonlight.
Yep.
And I'm trying to think of what
I love the Hell or High Water score.
Great score.
Good
Kate
score.
Warren
Ellis. I love the Midnight Special score, David Wingo. It's my favorite thing about that movie. Yep. I love the Kubo and the Two Strings score.
That would be my fifth.
Yeah.
Yes.
My nominees are Nicholas Britell for Moonlight, Justin Hurwitz for La La Land, Johansson for Arrival, Mika Levy for Jackie, the obvious winner, and Cho Young-wook for The Handmaiden, baby. That's got a fucking great score.
I gotta check out that score. I've seen that movie, but the score didn't.
Check it out. The score also has several isolated vocal tracks of them making out for reasons that I couldn't really figure out.
I like that.
Yeah, it's like suddenly like track 4, and you're like, "What is this?" And you're like, "Oh, right, it's the one where they're just going like." It's
I feel like
bizarre.
This was a year for like sort of breakthrough composers, like Roger Neal for 20th Century Women and Nicholas Britell for Moonlight are like
Nod.
phenomenal.
Let's all imitate the opening of Mika Levy's score for Jackie. No one else? All right. What else you got? Griffey, what do you want to do?
Can I do a little Best Song category?
Best song?
This is the first time I've had an actual lineup for
think
Best Song in forever.
I think they whiffed really hard on Best
They
Song
did.
this year.
Yeah.
They fucked up on Best Song.
I'm dying to hear what your 6 are.
Okay.
I'm guessing that Can't
6?
Stop.
Oh, sorry. I 5. I have 6.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't.
Yeah, I have a 6 that's really close there. Here's what my 5 would be for Best Song. Ahem. No Dames from
Great song.
That was a
Hail
runner-up.
Caesar.
Yep.
I've been talking up all year.
Yep.
Shiny from Moana.
Oh.
Not honestly.
My
Don't get
favorite song.
don't get the excitement for that song. I
Love that
think
song.
How Far I'll Go is so good,
I
think
think
it's
they
lovely,
picked the
too.
right one. I definitely think they picked the right one.
and I like the the
We Know the Way.
We Know the Way as
Yeah,
well.
I think
it's-
that's great.
I know, and Consider the Coconut, which is not the name of the song, but that's how I refer to it. Consider the coconut. I should just say that all the time.
Moana. Riddle the Model from Sing Street.
Oh.
All the Sing Street songs are
All the
great.
Sing Street songs
I think
are
that's
great.
the best one.
That's
Drive It
my
Like You Mean
third
It's
favorite,
obviously
I think.
very
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
Drive It Like You Stole It is
Stole
my
It,
number one
not
for me,
movie.
and Brown Shoes is my second one.
Not a movie I liked, weirdly. I
like
was
it.
weirdly tepid on it,
Like
but the songs are great.
Mona Lisa from Popstar.
Oh.
That's your favorite from
That's my-
Popstar.
You're doing a lot of like songs from movies that I picked, but like not the same song.
We've argued
picked
about
up
this
on-
all year.
Yes,
That Mona Lisa is hysterically funny.
Yeah.
It is such a good song.
it's the funniest one.
It's so funny.
They should have included the full performance.
It's something, what does he call like a baked potato face? Or I can't remember what is. All right, no.
It looks like a Garbage Pail Kid. Is my
That
favorite
one's
list.
great.
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to find it. There's something about potato.
I just like Mona Lisa, the original basic bitch.
The original Basic Bitch is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. It's a great song. And my 5th nominee would be who Anger Bowtie Straighten.
Oh God.
Rules Don't Apply from
Oh, Griffin.
Rules Don't Apply.
Oh no.
Still haven't seen it. I really need to.
I do really, and we saw this movie together, but like I really respect how much you stick up for this movie.
You could land a helicopter on that big potato forehead. But I also love this. Da Vinci must have sucked an art historian's dick to get this girl who looked like uncooked bread at the top of the all-time famous painting.
It's a great song.
It's not the case in France where the naked ladies dance and they look like Dennis Franz.
Yeah, so that's my winner for best
See,
song.
now my list of songs seems very pedestrian
Oh,
because
go
you've
for it,
got like
Joe.
the more cool selections. Of
I think I'm So Humble is hysterical though, and I also
think
think
so
it's like
too,
a
yeah.
really good song.
So
I
I'm
think-
So Humble is one of mine from Popstar. I think it's so good. Someone in the Crowd is my La La Land, which is sort of my like Griffin
Love that
version of
song.
picking a song from La La Land,
Sure.
and that like it's the third or fourth
You
one
grifted
down.
on that one. Yeah.
I did. How Far I'll Go, Moana, I really think is a fantastic song.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I Said I'm So Humble. Drive It Like You Stole It from Sing Street.
Mm-hmm.
Montage from Swiss Army Man, which I think is such a... It's almost on the border of like being more score than song, but I think the little part where they kick into singing... Oh, it definitely counts,
Yeah.
but like...
Shut the fuck up,
Listen,
Hey, hey,
listen. I got this. It's
I'm
fine.
nominating that the Making Out track on.
And then I squeezed in 6 because fuck it. Try Everything by Shakira and Zootopia.
Oh, I like that.
It's so fun.
That song is really good.
I love that song. I
I'm
honestly
sorry.
do. I will listen to that thing maybe once every 3 or 4 days.
I went to a
brighten me.
Zootopia screening. It was like 11 in the morning. It was raining, and I was kind of like vaguely excited for Zootopia. And that scene where it was like I was moving to college or leaving, and like, and she's on the train. Try everything.
Yeah, but I will stay through the end credits of that movie to watch that her and those 2 gay tigers
Oh,
like
those
dancing
gay
around.
tigers.
It's great.
I have watched that movie up to the Try Anything point and then turned it off like a few times
Now that
on
it's
Netflix.
on Netflix, yeah.
Also, love Jesus Christ. It's escaped my brain. I can't remember now.
My number 6 would
I love
be
all- Go ahead.
Abel from Hidden Figures. That's my favorite Hidden
Oh.
Figures song.
I
Oh,
don't-
you know, I really love that terrible Sia song in Lion. It's so bad.
I do too, actually. She's
so
okay.
bad.
I went through the big like 100 song best eligible,
Sure,
whatever.
sure.
She's got that. She had that song on the long list, and then she had this song from the Eagle Huntress.
Oh,
that was,
sure.
And both of those songs are
Love that
essentially
Eagle.
these really like ham-fistedly worded inspirational choruses. Where like, what's the chorus in the Lion song? It's like, it's
Never give up now.
Never
Never
give-
give up.
And the other
now,
one-
Whoa.
yeah,
It's pretty boring.
And Eagle Huntress has a very similar kind of like you can do this kind of a chorus. It's very funny.
I forgot. I want to say before I forget. I forgot to shout out Cliff Martinez's score for the Neon Demon, which
Oh, great.
sounds like the Vanilla Dome world in Super Mario World. It's great. I also love my favorite La La Land song is definitely Someone in the Crowd. I think Another Day
Yeah.
of Sun's really good. I think Start a Fire is really good. I like the La La Land music.
Yeah.
I think not nominating Hurwitz is almost rude. Like that's why
Yes.
the movie works to me more than anything else.
Yeah, I get you.
Jazzy.
Jazzy. Very jazzy.
Jazz.
I stole this from
Jazz.
my friend Nathaniel Rogers, who runs the Film Experience. He would, for his awards, he would always do best cameo or limited role, which this is where my only place that Nocturnal Animal shows up, because I honestly think the Laura Linney scene in
You didn't
Nocturnal
listen
Animals.
to rules.
I know. So whatever, we don't have to talk about her. The Frances McDormand scene in Hail Caesar, I think, is really funny.
Really funny.
I think
So
she's
funny.
so funny in that. There are 2
And,
Hell or High
Ethan
Water.
Cohen is married to an editor, and I just feel like there's a lot of love in that scene.
Yes,
like
I think
it's
that's
such a
totally
great
true.
scene.
It's two
He's
brothers.
got his
That's a good
brother's
point.
wife
Yeah.
playing
Yeah.
the editor, but nonetheless,
It's
Yeah.
2 brothers harmonizing, going, "We love our wives."
I have
We
2 from
love
Hell or High
our
Water in this.
wives.
The one is Katie Mixon as the waitress
So
who,
good.
Yeah.
who interacts with Chris Pine, which
Oh,
is
man.
such a great scene.
And then Jeff Bridges is awesome, where he's like, "I need the money back," and she's
Yes.
like, "No."
Oh,
Like, I
so
love that
good.
scene. All the one scene performances in Hell or High Water are fantastic.
well, the other waitress is my other nominee. in
The
this.
other
the one
waitress
who's
is
just
great.
like, so you either don't want the corn on the cob, or you don't
She's
want the
best.
green beans.
The
And
T-bone
it's-
steak lady.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
also, I love where it's
We
like,
don't
"Do you have a
serve no
gun?" And the
fucking
guy's
sea
like,
bass.
"Yeah, I have a gun." That opening bank robber scene.
Oh, that's what Dale Dickey, right?
Well, no, Dale Dickey's great too, but
Yeah.
no, the guy,
Oh, the guy.
Yes,
Yes,
who's
yes,
like,
yes.
"Yes, I do have a
Yeah,
gun."
yeah. And my 5th was Michael Shannon in Loving, which is
Such a good
such a
Really
great
good one scene
performance in that scene. Yes.
Can I give out my? There's a special award this year.
Uh-huh.
In the past I've done the Putters and
Yeah,
Murmurs
who does anyone
award.
win the Putters and Murmurs?
No real Putters and Murmurs.
Wait a second. There's now I'm
I
gonna
feel
look.
like Joel Edgerton almost counts for Putters
That
and
is
Murmurs.
that is arguably true.
You know?
Mm,
I feel like that's a classic. That's a classic
Let's hand it
Putters
to
and
You know
Joel
who-
Murmurs.
Egerton gets the 2017
I'm
Putters
sorry.
and Murmurs
You know who
award.
else does a great Putters and Murmurs job? Jiang Wen in Rogue One. That is a
Oh.
quiet Putters and Murmurs performance.
We've got a competition
He
for
putters and
Putters
murmurs a lot.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on him.
Yeah.
Chris Edgerton. I know. Here's
Honestly,
a,
weirdly, Chris Pine is almost a Putters.
here's an award for 2016, the best performance by Vin Diesel in a 4K 120 frames per second 3D movie goes to. Oh, this is weird. Vin Diesel in Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk.
Yeah, wow. He
Yeah,
really
weird
had a
that
lot of
didn't show.
competition.
That movie didn't show up on any of our lists, you
I
guys.
want that movie to be a masterpiece.
I want it to
Yeah,
be
it's
so
not.
much better than it is.
Best performance by a supporting Godzilla goes to Shin Godzilla.
Give that movie to Friday Night Lights guys. And I don't know who they are anymore because obviously Peter Berg does his own thing
Explosions in
now.
the Sky.
No, I just mean like give Billy Lynn's Halftime Walk to Peter Berg circa 2003 or like Jason Katims or whatever.
Katims, yeah.
Like that's what that movie should be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, carry on. Yeah, Best Supporting Godzilla is Shin Godzilla.
Wait, are we doing voice performances? Because I've got a couple.
Yeah, I mean, Jermaine Clement in
He was one
Moana
of
is my
mine.
favorite.
Shrug.
My favorite. Well, first of all, runner-up, and David, I might need you to look this up for me, is whoever voices Black Phillip at the end of The Witch.
I don't know who that is, but it is great.
I mean, if you told me it was the director, I would probably believe you.
I
but,
mean,
like,
it's so good.
Would
you like to live?
Similarly, the voice of Jesus in Silence.
You know who it was?
Well,
I
Hob
heard-
Chowdhury is
So
the
it's
voice.
not
Is
Liam.
of
The Witch?
Of the Witch.
Yes, I heard somebody say it might be Neeson, and it sounded like Neeson to me.
I heard it was Karen Hines.
Wait, what are you guys talking
The
about?
voice of Jesus in
And
Silence.
Silence was Karen Hines, which
Ah.
makes a lot of sense and actually deepens
Yeah.
my read of the film.
Love that movie.
My number one voice performance, though, I think it's actually phenomenally good, is Idris Elba in The Jungle Book.
He also is on my list.
He's excellent. He's also
super
very
scary.
He is scary, and
Yeah.
he's also very good in Zootopia.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
My
He's the
voice
water buffalo,
performances. Can I say some?
Please.
Do it.
Jason Bateman and Jennifer Goodwin in Zootopia.
Yep.
I swear to God.
Yep.
Those are performances
They're
right there.
both.
Yep.
Yes, they are.
Yep.
I think Ali Carvalho or whatever her name is great
Lovely.
in Moana.
In
I think
Moana,
that's a lovely singing and talking performance.
Yeah.
I think Alan Tudyk is great in Rogue One.
Oh, yeah.
Alan Tudyk is no joke.
Yep.
He's great as the chicken
That's
in
a
Moana.
great. That's a great point. Yeah.
Best chicken.
Yep.
Does Mark Rylance in the BFG count? Because that's a hell of a performance. I mean,
It is.
motion capture is tough, like
Yeah.
with the vocal performance.
Yeah, and the fact that it's his own face doesn't make it
But-
feel like a vocal.
But you know what? Let me shout him out though, right? Because like
really
Jesus, he's great in the BFG. As much as that movie was kind of left me nonplussed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't recorded it yet, but we will be talking about BFG extensively tomorrow,
Yes, we will.
which you will have already heard at this point.
Yes.
Should we do Best Picture? Are there any other?
No, they won't have already heard it.
This is going to
BFG's
come
not
out.
going to
you're
post
right.
till fucking May.
You're right. What the fuck am I talking about?
I don't know.
Then here's
What
a
if this
spoiler.
came out in June? What if this podcast was
I'm
just like,
delay it.
losing my mind. Let's do Best Picture.
all right, let's do it.
Okay, ready?
Yes.
You don't want to do cinematography?
Do you want
Oh,
to?
wait, what are your cinematographers?
I want to do cinematography.
I want to hear
What's your
this.
cinematography?
Let me actually see. My cinematography nominees are Handmaiden, Jackie, Moonlight, Silence, American Honey.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like my cinematography is mostly like my top 5 movies.
Usually for me,
Right, right.
it's the movies I like the most.
I like
are
visual
definitely
movies,
up there.
yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I feel
All
like
right.
my
Should we do
outlier,
a top 10?
Yes, I think we do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so let's all. Last year we ping pong between ourselves. It doesn't make any goddamn sense.
It doesn't.
doesn't.
No, I listened back to it too. It's a jumble.
Because we're all just
it's
going
a
to go
real
like,
jumble.
Phoenix,
Yeah.
Phoenix,
Yeah.
Rocky, and
Yeah.
whatever,
Right.
Creed.
It's weird.
Weird that 3 of us picked Rocky last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're just going to read your top 10, Griff?
Yeah, but my letterbox is still loading, so can one of you guys go first?
Should I go bottom to top or top to bottom?
Bottom to
Bottom
top,
to top.
baby.
Number 10, The Handmaiden by Park Chan-wook. Number 9, Tony Urban by Marinade. Number 8, Mountains Made Apart, Jia Zhangke.
Every time you say Mountains Made Apart, I like sigh and
great
like
movie.
melt into my chair a little bit. What a great, first of all, beginning and ending.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Go West.
What a great bookend.
I wrote a whole article about it.
I know it was one of my favorite articles you wrote this year.
Thanks. Number 7, The Lobster, Yorgos Lanthimos.
Mhm.
Number 6, Camera Person, Kirsten
Camera
Johnson.
Person. We haven't talked about that. What a great movie.
Obviously,
I
it
was
doesn't,
really-
doesn't count in your performance categories or
Right.
anything.
I
but,
was really skeptical of the premise of that movie
Me
as
too.
that started,
Yeah,
and I
me
was
too, a
like,
little
"Win
bit,
me
yeah.
over, movie," and it
True.
really did.
I mean,
it really
the
did.
boxing scene.
Well, the fucking baby.
Well, the baby.
Oh,
I mean, but for some reason, when the boxer,
Yeah.
when you think he's going to do one thing and he does another thing,
Yeah.
right? You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, hey, if you're listening and you don't, go watch Camera
Go
Person.
watch Camera
Go watch
Person.
Fucking
it.
great.
It's a great
Uh,
documentary.
Number 5, Silence by Martin Scorsese.
Scorksy.
Number 4, Arrival by Denis Villeneuve.
Nice.
Denis Villeneuve. Number 3, Patterson by Jim Jarmusch. Number 2, Moonlight, Barry Jenkins. Number 1, American Honey.
I love
Andrea
that that's your number
Arnold.
one movie. I feel like too many people sort of like poo-pooed
The
that
best.
movie and talked about
The best.
that movie in ways that I didn't quite understand. Nothing wrong about that movie. It's so great.
Correct.
Do you want to go, Griff? Or do you want me to go?
Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
Why don't, yeah,
Go,
you,
Joe.
you should be the grand finale.
Oh.
My number 10 is Jackie by Pablo Larraín. My number 9 is The Invitation by Karen Kusama.
Mm-hmm.
My number 8 is Silence by Martin Scorsese.
Mhm.
My number 7 is Hail Caesar by the Coen brothers.
My number 12, by the way, right outside.
Number 6 is Manchester by the Sea, Kenneth Lonergan.
yes,
Number 5 is Little Men by Ira Sachs. And then this top 4 is honestly bulletproof. Moonlight by Barry Jenkins. 3 is 20th Century Women by Mike Mills. 2 is American Honey by Andrea Arnold. And number 1 is Arrival.
Wow.
Arrival. Second I saw that movie in Toronto, I was like, did I ever tell you guys the story about how I told Amy Adams on the plane when I ride back from Toronto that Arrival was my favorite movie of the festival? Yes. I also told her that she should see Cats while she was in New York. It was a great moment in
Wonder
time.
if she did.
I hope she did.
Amy, if you did, tweet at Joe Reid.
Yes,
with
it's
hashtag I saw cats.
Hashtag Havarti cheese.
Thank you.
Hashtag Borsan.
Yeah, Borsan. Let's settle on Borsan. Okay, my top 10 of 2016 is number 10, Knight of Cups.
Wow, it's already
Which
beginning.
for a while was your number 1.
It was.
Yeah, for like
Good
a
year.
good chunk.
It was a good, good back half of the year.
I'd say it was my number 1 until... Oh, no, one film dethroned it, and it was number 2 for a while. We'll get to that.
Knight of Cups is great, and I need to watch it again.
Knight of Cups, number 10, it has begun. The cuppening. Number 9, Silence.
Silencio.
Number 8, Camera Person.
Nice.
Number 7, Arrival.
Mm.
Number 6, Manchester by the Sea.
What? By the Sea?
By the Sea. Number 5, The Handmaiden. Number 4, Jackie. Number 3, Wiener.
Wiener's so good.
Ooh, we haven't talked about that either.
So
yeah.
good. So crazy that it didn't get an Oscar nomination.
It is crazy.
I legit think it's just because they were mad at Anthony Weiner for
They left
ruining
off
the
some,
selection.
they left off
Agreed.
some
Yes.
really good documentaries.
They did,
on
and
that
not that
documentary
they
list.
didn't nominate great documentaries.
No,
It was a good
agreed.
year.
Good year.
Yep.
But Wiener's incredible. It's a film of our times. I haven't dared watch it
It's fantastic.
again since everything went down in November.
And
I
I
wonder
am not
if it would
in
make me
it.
too angry now.
But I am in scenes that are in it.
Sure.
I'm in the room.
Right, and you showed your wiener.
You bet I did. In the Bigger Splash.
My number 2 film of the year is 20th Century Women.
Sure.
And my number 1 film of the year is Moonlight.
I haven't heard of that one.
So by my count, wait, was Jackie on your list?
No.
Was
But
20th
Jackie's
Century,
up there.
20th Century Women was on your list?
Nope.
No.
But
Okay.
they're both up there.
So the only 3 movies that were on all of our lists were Silence,
Uh-huh.
Arrival,
Uh-huh.
and Moonlight.
Interesting.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a pretty good consensus top 3.
Yeah, you didn't have... No, you had Camera Person.
I did.
Yes,
but
I
you guys
didn't
didn't have any...
Camera
And you had The Handmaiden, actually. So we shared 5 of 10, Griffin.
Yeah.
Guys,
Sully,
not
of
bad.
course, is my number 11.
2 friends.
Sully's up there for me. The Witch is up there for me. I think that's a great movie. The Fitz is up there for me.
Yeah.
Hail Caesar, Everybody Wants Some. Jackie, Green Room, Nice Guys. These are great movies, baby.
Yeah,
Little
my
Men,
next
Really,
like
really
5,
great year.
20th.
Sully, Lobster, Hunt for the Wilder People, Queen of Cotway, Allied, El, Kubo and the Two Strings, Certain Women,
Yeah.
Hail Caesar. Those were sort of my next.
Kubo was up there for me. Camera Person was my 12. Certain Women was my 13. Like, it was a really great year.
Guys, we had a good time.
We had a real good time. You guys, I love that you guys
Oh,
had me
it's
back
fun.
for this.
So nerdy.
It's so much fun.
It's exactly my kind of nerdy.
Can I do a quick little stump here?
No, we got time to just sort of freestyle at this point,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I want to say this. I feel like there's this sort of dumb cultural meme going around that like Moonlight is a tough watch. Have you seen this? People make jokes about like,
No.
oh, Moonlight. I don't know if I'm ready, if I'm in the moon yet. Like the mood yet.
I feel like that's very telling more of the person than of
I
the
think so too.
movie.
And I feel like I've heard people talk about knowing they should see Moonlight, but not seeing it yet as if it were Manchester by the Sea.
Well, and also,
I wanna-
Manchester by the Sea is also not
I'm
what
actually
people
going
say.
to pose a counter to this. Moonlight's a tough watch.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the Moonlight's great, and I think it ends on a very hopeful note.
yes.
But, it's especially...
I don't
know.
think
know
I would
some
call
people
it
who
a
saw
punishing movie, though.
Yeah, see, I don't think it's a
No,
tough watch.
no.
Yeah.
Punishing to me is different. It is a
Yes.
very emotionally
It's a very emotional
stressful
Sure.
and demanding movie.
Sure.
And sometimes
especially the
people
middle.
don't
Sure.
want to see emotion. Yes, that is true.
Yes,
That
the middle is
definitely
really tough, and I know some people who work with children who found the middle very tough.
true. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the Patricia Heaton show, The Middle, is really tough.
Really
to watch
tough.
sometimes.
That's a show that is a grueling watch,
Yeah.
and it wants
Right.
to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a show that's
Pulling no
hostile.
punches.
But Moonlight is not, even if it's a tough watch, it's not a punishing film in the way that, say, a Silence is. Silence
exactly.
is a punishing movie.
Silence.
Yes.
That's a movie when someone says to me like, I'd rather see X this week. I'm like, I get it.
I get it. Yeah.
Moonlight, I agree with you. Like, go see it. Like,
Go
come
see it.
on, you
Go
know.
fucking see
but
it.
I think, look, people are seeing Moonlight. It's one of the great
Yeah.
stories of the year.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
are seeing Moonlight.
Well,
Moonlight's
more.
playing in
Actually,
like God knows where right
One
now.
of the
It's great.
big stories of the year is just how many indie movies did surprisingly well box office wise.
Yeah.
Like Manchester, Love and Friendship, The Lobster.
Mhm.
Like
True.
great
It's true.
stories.
Yeah.
Very happy that Lobster got
And
that.
and La La Land's
Yeah.
crazy successful. I mean, I know
Yeah.
like fucking Lionsgate's right on that edge.
Yeah.
no, but
well,
La La Land's so good.
I was surprised when I looked back because I wrote a little bit last week about how when James Cameron said that thing about, the Oscars don't nominate movies that people want to see and that people pay money to see, which is one of my least favorite arguments.
Agreed.
But I didn't realize when I was looking up info for that, Whiplash only made $14 million.
Yeah, Whiplash was
That's
sort of
not
a minor hit.
And
at
so
best.
La La Land is like such a great case for, and I mean, like, it's like whatever. Damien Chazelle doesn't need, societal,
Right.
boost or anything like that. But good for the Oscars for, giving a director like that a boost, and that he could make this movie that now tons of people are seeing and
Sure.
seemingly enjoying.
Yeah, is an unqualified blockbuster.
Yeah,
it's true.
it is true.
Yeah, I mean, Silence being a flop actually is one of the weird.
It is.
I mean, it's not weird, but it's
Yeah.
one of the things that's more like how these things often go.
Yes.
Silence
and yet
did not break out.
Wasn't nominated for Best Picture.
No, and also was a major studio release, and
Yeah.
Paramount
Yeah.
seemingly did not know what to do about
Yeah.
Silence.
Everything about Silence was weird in
Yeah.
terms of its release, its response.
Well,
all
the
of it.
weird thing is, like, I saw it, wasn't allowed to talk about it for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
because Paramount had like a really strict embargo, which was strange because I really liked it.
Yes.
And it was Oscar season.
Yes.
And
So
I
you
would-
might
yes.
want buzz to be building.
There's been such a weird thing because 20th Century Women wasn't the same thing, but it opened so late,
Yep.
too late to do much of
Yeah, they
anything.
fucked that
Real
one.
miss.
At some point,
Look, A24, I think, they had a lot of movies and like,
well,
yeah.
and a limited budget to do with. I think A24 ended up with the problem, the quote unquote problem of too many great movies.
Embarrassment of riches.
Yeah. But maybe at some point we need to recognize that like voting for all these things keeps moving earlier and earlier and earlier. Like
It's true.
it's not viable to open your movie after Christmas and expect it to
It's
get
tough.
awards.
It's tough to
No,
do that.
I mean, look, and the only way it works is if you're fucking like Hidden Figures, and the second the movie comes out, it's a big hit, and everyone rushes to see it in the last week of the
Well,
year.
and also they had been whipping up the
Right.
publicity campaign for that movie for
months.
months.
Yeah.
They-
But- yes.
since legitimately that trailer premiered during the Olympics.
But the big thing is that you can't release a film in December and have it percolate. Like, it has to be
Right.
something that's going to hit the ground running,
Right.
do well, everyone's going to see it, it's a crowd pleaser.
Right.
Like, you can't release something that's challenging or something that's kind of a low-key charmer.
Mhm.
I mean, 20th Century Women, my number 2 film of the year, is a big film in my mind, but is a modest film in
Yeah.
terms of it's just a couple characters.
Yeah.
It's really about conversations. It's about sort of
yeah, and it doesn't
intangible
have some
things.
big thing
It's not
happen.
you also don't feel like, oh, I gotta see this thing in theaters. Like if
Right.
if I'm not me, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like I certainly do, but
God, do I love
I'm
that
weird.
movie.
Yes, me too.
That movie also hits like really close to home for me in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Best, yeah, you could have played that fucking part 10 years
I
ago.
could have.
Um,
I'll say, like, that movie like forces me to rewrite the Griffin Newman
The
biopic a little
punchline
bit.
in that movie where she goes, "What were you in a fight about?" and he goes, "Clitoral stimulation,"
Yeah.
and then the look on her face
yeah,
where she's just like, she's so like at a loss as to how to respond.
there are so many moments in that movie.
well, that's in that scene where,
Yeah.
where he's like, I just want to satisfy like a woman.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm
Kid,
sure you will.
I'm sure you will. The way she says "kid" in that
Yeah.
movie is great.
there are
She keeps-
so many
yeah.
moments in that movie where that kid says something stupid and I want to punch him because I said the exact thing verbatim. It's like, oh, fuck you, me.
He's good though. Like I
He's
like
good.
that kid. I'm excited to see what he does.
Best visual effects of the year, Doctor Strange. Don't at me.
Agreed.
Okay.
Don't at me. Well, I think the Jungle Book's going to win because the Jungle Book is kind of most
Yeah.
visual effects or whatever. Like the Jungle Book is certainly an impressive mounting.
I
Sure.
saw Doctor
But
Strange.
Doctor Strange had kind of visual effects where you're like, I've never seen this before.
Yeah, I agree.
I saw Doctor Strange the day after the election. I thought I was going to be able to escape into a Marvel movie, as I always have been, like my tried and true. I love those movies. I was so exhausted mentally and physically. I was just
Loved
like,
it.
I couldn't. I was probably my least favorite Marvel movie of the.
I like it.
I really
whatever
like Doctor
the phase is.
I
I might go watch it again.
My favorite effects on a budget was Arrival. That gets the sort of Ex Machina nod of like,
fantastic.
not a blockbuster
Yes.
scale movie, but really well executed and designed.
Design
effects.
the design of that is phenomenal.
Yes. All that
Right.
stuff
Well,
is
yeah,
really
it's the thing. It's like you don't see any seam
Yeah.
like remotely with Arrival.
Yeah.
Um,
but very well integrated.
great costumes and production design and makeup on that Handmaiden.
I was gonna say,
Gorgeous movie.
Handmaiden
Oh.
gets every below the line.
Here's
category for
one.
me.
What was the best in theater experience watching a movie you had this year?
It's interesting.
Because
question.
mine, I thought of that because I mentioned seeing Doctor Strange the day after the election. The night before the election, I saw a all media and also like invited people, whatever, screening of Almost Christmas. It was
You've talked to me
so
about this.
goddamn fun, and and then literally haven't thought about it since because it was like in a different universe that happened back when we
Sure.
were all capable of joy.
I saw Moonlight on the day after the election. I'd seen it once before already
Yeah.
and was really blown away by it. And that is like what I think of as sort of the most overwhelming experience I had watching a movie this year.
Yeah.
I saw Moonlight like at a fucking 3:00
Yeah.
Lincoln Center with
Yeah.
my friend Orlando. Shout out to Orlando, and was blown away by the movie. And then the Wednesday after election night,
Yeah.
when woke up in this horrifying,
Yeah.
terrible wasteland, and felt like a zombie all day. I went to see Moonlight because I felt I had to sit in a room full of strangers
Yeah.
and experience empathy.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like to see
call.
other strangers reacting to something like
That's
that.
a smart
And
call.
that was probably my favorite movie going experience of the year. It was like, a 60% full house at like an 8 o'clock on a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
But there was something a little profound of all of us sitting there and like this movie that is about loneliness
Yeah.
and isolation and someone struggling to fit in. Seeing a bunch of people all in unison.
All right, Jesus, put your violin away. Fucking hell. I saw Hell or High Water at the Nighthawk, and I had the best goddamn cheese
that's
plate
where
of my
I
life.
saw that movie too. Yeah.
I just was like, I gotta catch this one. It was got a cheese plate. There's no doubt that the cheese plate added an extra half star to my like opinion of Hell or High Water.
Hashtag cheese plate.
What a great cheese plate. I went back. I actually shouldn't tell that. I should not even tell that story on mic. I'll tell it off mic.
Okay. Man.
I've heard this story.
Too hot for the Blankies.
Don't you think it's too hot for the Blankies?
I don't think so.
All right, fine. I saw The Birth of a Nation
Oh, that
at the
movie.
Nighthawk.
Uh-huh.
Just because like I hadn't caught it, and I don't
Right.
know if you know about this, but the buzz on that one really died down after a while.
Oh, yeah.
And so I go to catch it. I didn't see. I wasn't at Sundance, so I didn't see it. I'm not enjoying it. I get a cheese plate again because I was like, loved that cheese plate last time.
Captain Cheese Plate over
Cheese
here.
plate arrives, and I'm like, what the fuck is the matter with me getting a cheese plate right now? Watching The Birth of a Nation. God, I felt like I am an
So
asshole.
no
I'm
like
an
bunches
asshole.
of grapes either that you could
there
also
were some
have
grapes.
just
There's some apples,
man.
some jam.
It's
Good cheese plate.
I'll-
I really enjoyed my viewing of Popstar, which I saw
Sure.
with like an amped audience that was
Oh,
laughing a lot.
that would have been
I
fun.
really enjoyed my viewing of Hidden Figures, which I saw with like literally a packed audience of middle-aged ladies who went like, "Oh, that's nice" at every like fucking thing that ever
That
happened.
was
in
my
that
audience
movie.
for Almost Christmas, except it was just like raucous laughter at everything Monique said. It was the best. It was the goddamn best.
I miss Monique. More Monique.
See Almost Christmas just for her. It's worth it.
Hashtag Momo.
I really enjoyed
more
going to
Monique.
see Live by Night at the Union Square Regal with one other homeless guy in the audience. Great time we both had.
I'm sorry. I remember my number one favorite movie going experience of the year. It was watching Ben watch Rogue One.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was actually great.
That
And you were
sounds
next to him.
amazing.
I was
I
like a
was.
couple seats away, so I
Right.
didn't quite get the full like fist pumping experience.
I'm on the record as liking.
I was gonna
enjoying-
say, how many times have you now seen Rogue One? Have you,
Once.
Griffin?
Gotta see it again.
Rogue
you should
One.
see it.
You got to knock out that second viewing. That second viewing. Oh my god.
Rogue One is funny though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I gotta
All right.
see Rogue twice. But yeah, I enjoyed watching Ben more than I enjoyed watching the movie. But
I'm
but
excited
Ben's
to hear your
performance was-
reevaluation of that.
I'll reevaluate.
Yeah, check it out. It's a
Yeah.
good movie.
Yeah.
It really does work better the second time, I think.
I'm sure. Well, it's just a lot of stuff to see.
That's a lot.
Is there right now?
I'm saying there has
The big
been.
release this week was Rings.
I know.
Oof. Did anybody see Rings?
Rings got a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes, which
Good.
is hard. That is not
just
easy.
that trailer looked insultingly
The
terrible.
trailer actually was insulting because they were like, Rings, guys, and we're like,
Ugh.
we need more. And they're like, the ring tape's on a plane. And we're like, okay. And she's like, she's barfing up hair. And we're like, wait, we don't, excuse me.
That title doesn't work either because, like, Alien $S, like, the whole point is, like, oh, before there was just one, what if there were many?
Right.
And it's the promise is, like, what, they copied the tape? They made a couple more tapes?
It's going viral.
Yeah, what's
the part in the trailer where she starts picking at the, like, thread interface the same way as the first one. I'm like,
I swear to God, we've already done that.
We've seen it. It's available
I'll
on
also
iTunes.
say the movie with the most viral moments, and I was talking about this on Twitter today, is the comedian, the Taylor Hackford Robert De Niro movie.
Well, I can't imagine.
The key arc of it is that there are 3 different clips of his that go viral, and it's like Edie Falco's his agent. She calls him, and she's like, "It's going viral, 3 million hits and counting," and it's like, it's the best like misinterpretation of what that means ever.
You're not going to see the movie, right, Joe?
No.
Okay, can you spoiler, confirm, or deny something for me?
Yeah.
Is it true that Cloris Leachman dies of
Yes.
laughter in the movie?
No!
Oh my God!
Yes. So, like, one of his comeback moments is, like, he gets to do a roast of an actress who we're told has won 3 Oscars and 6 Emmys. Cloris Leachman plays an actor. Who the fuck wins 3 Oscars and 6 Emmys?
Alan Ackerman.
Cloris Leachman is only like 2 Oscars away from that. But yeah.
Fair enough. Good point, actually. But still, those 2 Oscars are going to be
It's a
tough
big
for
one.
her to pick up.
They're big ones. Yeah.
And he, like, gets up there and he's like, you sure sucked a lot of dicks. He's like doing a lot of like, you old broad, like, remember back in the day. And she's like, good times. Dies. You know what else he does? Knocks up Leslie Mann after
Jesus
a one-night
Christ.
stand. And then all right, so the movie's so bad, and I'm watching it, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Harvey Keitel plays a mobster.
Are you sure you don't want to save
Patty
this for the
Lupone.
Taylor Hackford series?
I swear to God. Patty Lupone plays...
Potter Hatcast.
plays Danny
Dolores
DeVito's
Podmore.
wife. And then at the end of the movie, like, he's knocked up Leslie Mann. He's like 30 years older than her, and you're just like, Jesus. And then fade to black 8 years later. And I, in the screening room, went, Jesus fucking Christ. And then it's like him at the talent show, and his daughter is doing like dick jokes on the stand-up
Is it one of
stage.
the Apatow kids doing
No.
it?
It's not one of the
Is that
They're
your-
too old for this shit.
They are too old for this shit now. God, Maude Apatow is the grizzled old veteran of like...
My least favorite movie of the year is Mother's Day.
Okay.
That was actually a fun in-theater experience.
Yeah, that
for
was a
me.
great... Were you at the critics screening? No, I went to
No,
the
I
critics
saw that with
screening,
people.
and that was nuts. All the
Yeah.
critics were moaning. Like, it was like they were... Like, we were being slowly
pain.
poisoned.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Gary Marshall.
I will say,
I love you, Gary, but holy shit.
underrated, hilarious scene that maybe was intentional. Like, oh no, it wasn't even in the movie. It was the end credit blooper reel where Julia Roberts' plaintive looking out the Whistle Stop Cafe window is interrupted by that long ass train going by.
Haven't
That
seen
is
it. Sounds funny.
very strange.
It was so funny.
Julia Roberts' performance in that is like a fucking extraterrestrial. It is a
Also,
bizarre
the
performance.
logistics of that movie are like Arrival-esque in their like defiance of time and space.
That is also true.
like the way I can't even get into it. It's a whole half-hour long
I'm
conversation.
trying to find... God, there was this...
What's your least favorite film of the year, Joe?
Oh, I mean, I saw Suicide Squad.
Okay, I was gonna say
That's,
Suicide Squad is
that's
my number
right
one.
at the bottom for me.
That's
too.
really
That's my number
bad.
That was one of those things where we talked about it in our episode. I could not believe how bad it
I
was.
didn't see Batman v Superman yet. So
Way
like,
better.
Way better.
Yeah.
Way
Oh,
better.
yeah. That
I'll-
movie's like decent. That's like a
yeah,
great
I'll
movie
go to my
compared to
grave
Suicide Squad.
saying that. Yeah. Yes, agreed. Squib Squab Squab is the worst film of 2016.
Oscar nominee Suicide
Right.
Squad.
Which is, of course, why now they're handing David Ayer the spinoff with only female
Here's
characters.
also, I think there's a chance Suicide Squad wins that Oscar for Best Makeup. It's the most like toss-up category. It's Star Trek Beyond,
Yeah.
which I don't think has any heat behind it. Like
I
even
agree.
like Suicide Squad has almost like negative heat,
and
which
then
is
Man
like
Called
better.
Ove.
Man Called Ova, which I think has a good chance because it's that sort of rule of like it wouldn't be here if voters didn't
Right.
weirdly have a boner for it.
Yeah.
So like,
The Killer Croc makeup's really good, though.
I know that's
you gotta
what
give
that's
him credit.
that's why I think
good makeup.
Suicide
That's
Squad's
good
going to win it.
makeup.
That's
Yeah.
why I think
Good
Suicide Squad's
makeup.
going to win it.
I actually think all the makeup work in Suicide Squad is good. Even like Jared Leto's Joker, which is like, I mean, I don't agree with the artistic
It's
choices
well
made, but it's
executed.
well executed.
So you guys know
like,
more
I
than
don't know
me.
if they needed to put crazy on his forehead or whatever it is they did.
Is the Star Trek Beyond nomination for the character with the black and white face?
Largely, that has great makeup. Star Trek Beyond, fantastic.
Yeah, and
makeup.
Idris Elba's character.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's a
okay.
lot of
Yeah,
cool
yeah,
makeup
yeah.
in that, and
Yeah.
Idris Elba's character keeps
I can never
changing,
tell
and,
sometimes
like,
with
they
a
do
lot
cool
of those
things with
movies
that.
whether it's makeup or CGI. I'm bad at
Sure.
fucking
No,
numbers.
no, that has
that's
a
a
lot of
practical
nice
movie.
practical makeup, and it's a great movie.
Remember Keenster?
I like that movie a lot.
Yeah.
Star Trek Beyond.
Keenster.
Yeah,
Scotty's little friend
I think his name is
Oh,
Keenser,
God.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I
but he's very cute.
He's a
Yes.
kid.
Played by Deep Roy.
I love that.
Oh, God, good for Deep Roy.
Well, that has been the 2017 Blank Check Awards.
2017, we talk about a lot of stuff, awards.
A loose, rambly episode.
Yep.
That
A
was
fun
good,
one. Thank you so much for being here,
For the
Joe.
fans out
Thank
there.
you, guys. I love this. And your podcast is great.
Oh, come on. Get the fuck out.
Okay. All right. Bye.
People can check out your work on Cider. Follow you
Cider?
on Twitter.
At Joe Reid.
And that's I forget where we are in the Spielberg miniseries, but next week tune in for another Spielberg episode. Whatever.
That's right. Catch if you
chronologically
can
the
or
next
something.
one
I
is.
don't
Has
know.
any performance topped Pete Postlethwaite in The Lost World?
What a great performance.
Playing that clip back, listening to that clip back, and just the voice of it, I was just like, man.
He's so good in that.
All right, guys. Signing off.
Yeah, please remember to
Rate,
rate, review, subscribe.
I gotta pee.
David has to pee. I have to poo.
I'm fine.
Well,
Great.
Humble rag. Tune in next week. And as always.
As always.
If you have to poop as well, please.
Please dick poop.
Well, that wasn't. So now you. Yeah. So, yes.
Good. Thank you.
Okay.
Always a pleasure to have Joe Reid on the podcast. Hey, guys, of course, it's your pal producer, Ben. So sorry to miss out on this particular recording, but I got tied up with some stuff around the office. Boo, I know. And I was unable to join hashtag the two friends and Joe. But quickly here at the end of the episode, I thought I'd just throw out a couple original categories. You know, I want to keep that tradition alive, baby. All right. So I should also mention I didn't see any of these movies. So I'm just going off of like really a limited amount of information, but here we go. All right, first category, wetter movies. Number 1, okay, Manchester by the Sea. Now, I'm going to assume at least some moist, if not damp moments is happening in this film, okay? All right, next up we got Hell or High Water. I mean, it's got water in the title, so clearly they're going to get soaked at some point. I mean, that's just logic. Next up we got The Lobster. Again, that's a no-brainer. Moving right along, we got Deepwater Horizon. Okay, you got oil boys on a rig, and there's an explosion. I mean, yeah, they're getting drenched by the end of that movie. Lastly, Sully. You know, yeah, I know the story. They crash in the river, so yeah, they get wet. All right, cool. Next and final category. This is something I'm calling Somebody Stop Me. All right, so this original category is preventing trends or projects or even just people in Hollywood moving forward. It's like, no more of that, please. I'm all set. A check, please. You get it. Okay, great. So our first film in the category is Hacksaw Ridge. Mel Gibson, you're like an anti-Semitic and a weirdo Christian and like, I don't know, it's like, get out of here, man. Somebody stop that guy. All right, great. So moving right along, next we have LA Land. It's like, oh, hey, Mr. Hollywood, here's an idea for you. How about 2 great actors being sort of good at singing and dancing, plus jazz? Somebody stop that, please. I mean, it was bad enough we got a bloated Russell Crowe in Les Miserables. Let's just stop this. Hire people who are good at singing and dancing. I don't care that Ryan Gosling learned to play jazz piano. Really getting worked up. Talking in a small room by myself. All right, cool. Next up, we've got Manchester by the Sea. Okay, Casey Affleck, I know you want an award, but will you quit bumming everyone out? It's super selfish. Also, you're sort of a creep, dude. It's like, somebody stop that guy. Speaking of creeps, though, next we got Passengers. It's like, oh, great. Rape culture in space? Come on. Even in space, in the future, still? Oh, man. Somebody stop that. Okay, lastly, of course, it's Sully, because it's like, you're gonna make a movie about Sully? Sully Sullenberger? What? Come on. That's terrible. Some dude that landed a plane in the Hudson? And it's not even about the crash, really. I've been told it's just about litigation and shit. I mean, I don't know. All right, well, that's all I got for you guys. Next week, we'll jump back into our Steven Spielberg mini-series. We'll be looking at AI. Producer Ben out.
This has been a UCB comedy production. Check out our other shows on the UCB Comedy Podcast Network.